This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Good evening, freakazoids! How the hell's it going? Yeah, I think that's probably about right there. Yeah, sorry for the later start today. I've got, I was talking to Greg Hardy for a while. They arrested Dale, the wacko, and the Deanne Warner, her husband, ex-husband, whatever the hell you want to call him. I guess he was a husband at the time. But they arrested him for, like, some financial issues, so. And he'll be out. But hopefully, what they're really working on is getting her declared dead legally. And then they can, move on from there to the wrongful death suit. And then after that, information that comes out in that, hopefully that makes a difference somewhere else in the actual law enforcement. Thanks, Yabba Dabba Doo. And thanks to Dobby Smith. Yabba Dabba Doo and Dobby Smith. Wow, okay. So, and then, I don't know, it's just been a busy day. Talking to attorneys, and, it's just too much stuff going on. Let's see. Yeah, and then I heard from, let's see. So the Hannah Walker, there's like what was the page called? Yeah, HannahRoseWalker.com. And I was trying to get a hold of the mother the other day. This is the case where the 31-year-old from Portland was found drowned in a creek with a 67-year-old man around there. Oh, we went to the river and I just lost her. And their swimming suits found. So in that case, I have the 911 call, and I have the body camera footage of an officer that was out there. And it's a 2.5 hour long body camera, so I have to edit out a bunch of. There's parts where you see her after they pull her out of the water, where she's nude and everything like that. So I got to get rid of those portions. And there's a lot of parts where it's just, people walking around, just traipsing through the woods. It's really not relevant. It's relevant, but it's not. There's nothing useful watching it. How do you know, Gray? Maybe there's something I could. Okay, well, I'll watch it. I'll let you know, okay? Yeah, and then there's parts where, the guy, the 67-year-old's there. I got the 911. We'll play the 911 call today. And then we also have to take a look at the Rachel Morin case again, because apparently the guy that says he was out there, the sheriff says he had nothing to do with finding her. So then that makes that guy seem a little weirder now. Doesn't mean he did anything. It's just kind of weird, right? Right. And here we are again, everybody. Another show where if you'd like to help support the channel, through super chats and whatnot. We have a goal set up every single night. I have these goals set so that I can continue to make an income on YouTube. At the same time, I donate over 50% of the net revenue at the end of the month to true crime related charities. Alright? And you guys are it, man. You're my bosses. If the show's good, I hope you support the channel. If it sucks, I hope you support the channel, because not all shows are good. Yeah? But I'm here every single night. 3, 2, 3, 4 hours every single night. And then I think I was going to go over that Koberger document. I was actually thinking it'd be cool to get on Colleen Fitzpatrick to go over that same document, who would actually know what every single thing mentioned in it means. So what I might do, maybe I'll make a video with that, with her in it. I'll go through and sort of highlight certain spots, and then maybe she can get on Zoom with me, and then we can just talk about it, and then I can edit it. Something like that. Thanks, Amber Maiden. And by the way, help out Amber Maiden here. Like, she's always, whenever she starts these waves, for some reason, it just, sometimes they go, wah, 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 wah. Okay? So, make Amber feel good too, alright? Yeah, I mean, that's more about Amber than me. Yeah. But thanks, Amber. So let's see, I'm going to wait 15 seconds. And we don't see somebody jumping in with Amber. Whew. Man, you guys are dissing. Chat is now down at the bottom of the screen instead of on the side on my computer. Well, you have to move it over there. Hey, thanks, Alley Cake. Yeah, today was a long day. Talked to my lawyer for, I don't know, 45 minutes. Talked to, yeah, I mean, I seem like I was just on the phone a lot. It's crazy. Thanks, Alley Cake. Well, it worked, sort of, Amber, but hey, thanks anyways. Oh, there you go. There, Tina jumped in for Amber. Is that actually you, Tina? I don't think I've ever seen your face before. And American Lady. All right. I know it is. I always like talking to Greg Hardy, though. And my lawyer, he's really interesting too. He's got all kinds of stories. Thanks, Eugenie. See, look at that, Amber. You got some love there. Oh, so is the surgery happening now for sure? I don't even remember that one. So I'm on to something else tonight, as you can see. I'll check it out though, so you don't delete it. Oh, okay, I know what one you're talking about. Oh, that was the one on the GoFundMe. There, let's see. Maybe I'll check it out really fast if it's something short. Well, you sent me a YouTube video. I can't play somebody's YouTube video. That's not really an update, is it? You sent me a video, a YouTube video. Thank you, Deborah Blum Rogers.
6, I'm Jamie Costello along.
But as WMER2 News' Jeff Hager reports, that has made Rachel Morin's murder a magnet for speculation that could hamper the investigation.
Okay, what's the
boyfriend
update,
in this case? The answer is yes. One question we have continued to get centers around whether we have interviewed the boyfriend in this case. The answer is yes, we have, along with many other people who are close to Rachel.
A modern-day whodunit, this case almost immediately attracted the attention of the national media, as well as from outlets from abroad.
Well, the sheriff's office has 78,000 followers.
I don't know.
on
Why don't you
Facebook.
send it to me? I don't see it. Yeah. I don't have the post that you're talking about, Zozo. So please, when you send me something, make sure it's all ready to go. And, all right. So, anyways, I got the. Let me just do what I was going to be doing. Hold on. That's a YouTube video that you sent. Hey, it's Gene Fish. All right. Okay. What do you guys want to start? You want to hear the 911 call in the Walker, Hannah Rose Walker case? That's the one in she lives in Portland area, and then she went up to Washington. She has an abusive boyfriend, but he has an alibi. And then she went up to Washington with a 67-year-old man and then they went down to the river, and apparently she took off her entire swimming suit and then went swimming and drowned somehow. Yeah. All right, well, let's listen to that. Let me go to the... Got to open up a lot of different windows. I had to reboot and some updates here. There it is. Hold on. Huh? Thanks, Just Junie. There it is right there. I don't see TCR. Who's TCR in there? It says Hams of Horror, not TCR. Thanks, Just Junie. Yeah, it says Hams of Horror, not TCR on there. Unless that's a totally different person. Hello? Anybody there? I'm just going to stare at the screen until I get a response. Okay, well, how do you know that they're the same person? How would you know that? Let's see. Was a girl under the influence? Is that what she took of her bathing suit? I don't know why she took off her bathing suit. I mean, I don't know how the guy lost her either. I mean, you're going to this river together, and all of a sudden you don't know where she went, and there's a swimming suit, and she had skin underneath her fingernails, and she also had, let's see, semen inside of her, but it was like a week before that when she, there was like got out of an abusive relationship. So, whose skin and whose semen is that? And maybe we can try to figure out a little bit better where this place is. So Jeremy's the guy, the 67-year-old person. He's in the 911 call. Don't really know exactly where it is, but. So you guys want to hear it? Here we go.
October 12th, 2022 at 18 hours 47 minutes and 8 seconds.
No, just a second. I'll do something different.
October 12th, 2022 at 18 hours 47 minutes and 8 seconds. Call started on Wednesday, October 12th, 2022 at 18 hours 47 minutes and 8 seconds.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Well, I'm down by the natural area preserve, by the kind of near Clarksdale, kind of outside Trout Lake, and that's the best I can tell you about where I am. There's a little entrance here.
Okay, so what's going on, sir?
I came over with a friend of mine, and she's a great swimmer. And went down to. She wanted to go swimming, so we went down to.
Sir, what is going on right now that you've called 911?
She's lost. She's not back.
Okay, so you've got a missing person.
So even the operator's like, come on, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in by the natural area preserve, by the kind of.
October 12th, 2022 at 18 hours 47 minutes and 8 seconds.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Well, I'm down by the natural area preserve, by the kind of near Clarksdale, kind of outside Trout Lake, and that's the best I can tell you about where I am. There's a little entrance here.
Okay, so what's going on, sir?
I came over with a friend of mine, and she's a great swimmer. And went down to. She wanted to go swimming, so we went down to.
Sir.
See, that's what's sort of weird. I mean, why would you throw in? She's a great swimmer, so we went down to. Like, who cares? I mean, that's a weird thing to think of, unless you're sort of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a very odd thing to say. I don't really care. I'm not trying to over analyze it. I just think it's a very strange. Like, nobody asked. Nobody was even interested in if she was a good swimmer or not. It's almost like an excuse being made really quickly off the bat.
What is going on right now that you've called 911?
She's lost. She's not back.
Okay, so you've got a missing person. Okay.
Yeah, she's been gone. She's been gone for well over an hour, and it's getting dark here. She's only got her swimsuit. She's barefoot. It's like freaking cold in the water.
Take a deep breath for me.
Okay.
And what water was she in?
Trout Creek, I believe it's called.
Trout Creek. Okay.
Feeds into Trout Lake.
Okay, and you're there at Trout Creek Road, and you said you're down there by Clarksdale.
Yeah, by Clarksdale, just outside Clarksdale.
Yep.
Clarksdale, I think it is, yes.
And is that where she went in at?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually was with her, went down to the creek, and I waited around for like 2 hours for her to show back up again, but she never showed up.
Is she on an inner tube, or?
No, she's just has her bathing suit. She's barefoot. That's all she's got.
Bathing suit and a barefoot. Okay, do you know what color her bathing suit is?
It's black.
It's black. Okay. How old is she?
I'm going to go back
31.
again a little bit.
31? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can't.
All right. Sorry, sir, my computer's...
Hello, Hams of
And where
Horror,
did you get
or
out at?
TCR, I guess.
I came back to the car. I waited around for a while. I left the towel and the sheet we were sitting on and her cell phone there because I thought if perhaps she did actually show up that she would be able to call somebody. But I'm back at the car now. She's not there either.
Okay, so where did you leave her towel and her cell phone at?
There's like a little beach down by the creek down there, and it's really hard for me to describe. I could show you. I've been there many times. I come here quite often.
By the bridge, or?
No, it's like it's a natural area preserve. There's actually a little Forest Service road. At least there's a Forest Service marker. I can walk up and see if I can read the marker. But nobody ever thinks of it as that, using that. that road designation.
I bet it's right here.
Okay, and you said your friend is 31?
Yes.
I bet it's this little road right there.
Hang on, Jess. So she went in, and you haven't seen her in how long?
What time is it now? About 6:40, something like that.
Yep.
Probably since about 4. She's a really strong swimmer, so I wasn't really worried about her for at least an hour or so. And then she just never showed up, and I started going, God damn it, she just left me here and stranded me. But then
How do you
she
know
never
she's a
came
really
back,
strong
and it's like,
swimmer?
I'm just really freaking worried now. I can't even find it. It's so overgrown up here. I can't even find. Oh, there it is. No, the actual number on the sign is gone. The post is still there.
Okay, so, sir, what's your name?
My first name is Jeremy. My last name is Gaylord.
Do you live in this area, Jeremy?
I have a vacation home in Trout Lake.
Okay, but you don't live here, correct?
No, I come up here frequently, but my home is actually in Portland.
What do you mean you don't? Okay, you don't live here.
Yeah, all right. Hang on just a second, Jeremy. Okay,
Good.
hang on.
Hey, thanks, just Junie up there.
Okay, so I've got a deputy headed your way.
Cool. That's great.
Okay, so what kind of vehicle are you in, Jeremy?
A Honda CRV,
What color is it?
silver.
Okay.
It's kind of parked down this road. I could actually go stand by the road, so if he shows up, it'd be a little more obvious.
Well, just stay right where you're at, because we've got some cell phone coverage. I need to ask you a bunch of questions before you go back, okay? My deputy will find you, so.
Great.
And you're right there at Trout Lake Creek Road. What is that road there? There's another road right there, though, right? To the east of you?
Little
Or to
short
the west
dirt
of
road.
you? Yeah, to the west of you, there's a road. Up to the north and then to the west.
I think
there's a
I saw
road.
that he worked
Correct.
at like Intel
Yes.
or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that. I can't remember the name of that road.
No, I don't either, and I'm looking at my map. That's why I can't. Okay, does she have any medical problems?
No, not really. She has some mild asthma, and that's yeah.
She have any mental health problems?
Yes, she does.
How does he know about all this stuff?
What kind of mental health problems does she have?
Oh, depression. She just got out of an abusive relationship with a real jerk guy, and yeah, it really devastated her. Sort of. I don't think she got out of it. She was very despondent, but she was sort of brightened up by the waters. I wasn't really too worried about her. But not coming back like this was freaking me out.
Right. No. That's why I've got to ask a bunch of questions. Okay.
Sure. Ask away.
Okay. Okay. What's her name?
Her first name is Hannah. Her last name is Walker.
Do you know what her date of birth is by chance?
Let's see. It's May 1st, and she's 31. So I guess that's 92 or 91. Is that right? 1991. That would make her 32.
90.
No,
Probably
31.
no, not 91.
Yeah, 91. Yeah, that would make her 31.
Yep. And you said she's in bare feet.
Yep.
Bare feet, a black swimming suit, and then she takes her swimming suit
About
off.
how
and-
tall is she?
She's
would you do
about
that?
5'8".
Why would she take her swimming suit off if she had a swimming suit? I mean, you bought a swimming suit to use a swimming suit.
Is she thin? Is she average? Is she hefty?
A little on the thin side, yeah.
Okay. What color hair does she have?
Blonde.
Is it long or short?
Long. Well, yeah, fairly long, yeah.
Okay, is it curly or straight?
Straight.
What color are her eyes?
Blue.
Scars, marks, tattoos that you know of?
Yeah, she has some tattoos. It'd be kind of difficult for me to describe them, and she does have a few
No,
scars,
that's okay.
too.
Okay, tattoos, what part of her body are they on?
On her arms.
Okay. Alrighty. What's the phone number that you're calling me from?
503-860.
Okay, and I'm sorry, what was your name again, sir?
First name is Jeremy. That's Jeremy. Last name is Gaylord. That's Gaylord.
And it was Jeremy.
Yes.
All right, Jeremy. Jeremy, what's your birthday?
February 6th.
I don't want to put his birthday out there. So there you go. I yelled loud enough. Yeah, I don't know if it's his birthday, but it's on the 911 call. But
What is her phone number?
I can find it out if you like me. It's like she doesn't have her phone right now, so it doesn't really matter. Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, if you would.
Hang on just a second.
You bet.
I don't know how to skip it through there. Yeah. Anyways, there isn't much more after that, so. Well, I wasn't sure it wanted his birthday. I think his name's already in those online, those articles and everything like that. I mean, he's just the one that found her. Let me see. So here's like this whole, like body camera. It's like 2 hours long. I'll just play the beginning part, and then I'll have to go through and remove. You know, I've already blurred out there's a portion where they find her body in the water, or he didn't find the body, but he came up as they opened the tarp up, and you know she's nude, and yeah, it's weird. It almost seemed like she'd been in the water for longer, the way it looked.
Along the way where it can easily fall into the creek. So just wanted to warn you.
Okay, and just so you know, I am recording as well, because we do have to do that these days. I said we do have to do that these days.
It's short, so if I didn't have the shorts, I'd probably be fine.
Come on now. Get the corner of my stuff I'm flying earlier. This one. Come on, come in your home. Have we ever had any problems with her like this before?
Well, you know, actually, she's a really great swimmer.
And again about the swimming. It's just so that kind of does look like that spot I was talking about. Right here, maybe? Is there a street view? No. Of course not.
Swims a lot, and he enjoys it a lot. And I've been at places with her before where she just swam up for an hour, and then I just waited. She eventually showed up. So when she didn't show up for an hour, I was like, well, so what?
Yeah.
Big deal. Shall I turn my car off?
It's up to you.
If I run out of fuel, if I do get on the car.
It does get expensive, so we might want to save it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, wait, my walking stick.
And you said she left her towel and phone down there at the beach?
Yeah, so I left the, I have to use their light for a second. This is it. I'm going to lock it up just in case.
Right.
Yeah, so I waited there and waited there and waited there and she never showed. And so I didn't want to just leave her, just go up to the car and wait here. I didn't really know what was going on with her. And so after a while, it was getting so dark, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to make it back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a flashlight, it's my phone flashlight. And
I don't know where this is.
so this is actually her sweatshirt. I didn't have a sweatshirt. I thought it was up to me. It was left like 2 hours before, I left maybe later than 5. So I wasn't really sure. It was kind of weather, and she wore this down there. And she left it there. And she left the phone with me because she usually likes to go down the creek as opposed to walking on the trail. I don't want to.
Okay.
And
yeah. So anyways, this goes on for hours and hours. I mean, they're just walking around. So I'll have to go through and edit and try to find the spots where it's, if there's something said or anything like that. Where it's something related to her or something like that. Because all they're doing is just walking around. And I think it's wearing like a duck hunting type thing. There's a spot right here where I found. Let's see where that is.
I like the swimsuit she was wearing. But let's not touch it, though.
yes, it could be. It's really hard for me to tell.
Was she wearing a one piece?
Yeah, yes.
All right.
Really hard for me to tell.
Well, let's not walk around here. I mean, it hasn't been there very long. I mean, today.
I think that's the swimming
Like
suit.
earlier today, and I didn't see that. But of course, I could have missed it.
Okay, well, let's just.
It's hard to say if that's hers. I mean, it looks sort of like it, though.
But like I say, I mean, it's clean, so it hasn't been here for a day and gotten covered in dust, and then.
Yeah.
It's there. You can assess the situation, plan. Yeah, I figured
Jeff.
it's going to go 2 ways. One, you find her in a hurry, or 2, this is going to take a while. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure you have the support you needed. But yeah, once Tim gets there, you can assess the situation, plan. It's all going to. One, you find her in a hurry, or 2, this is going to take a while.
Jeff.
It's going to go 2 ways. One, you find her in a hurry, or 2, this is going to take a while. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I put a marker there, but anyways, I'll have to go through it. And we'll take a look at it another time, I guess. So there's a 911 call. I mean, it's interesting. She was in an abusive relationship. Scared of the person, but that person actually has an alibi, and they're working quite a ways away, like a 2-hour round trip back and forth, and their boss says, yeah, he was at work. So then it leaves the 67 or 68-year-old guy, I think he's 67, I think, where, she's out there with him, and apparently the autopsy had skin under the fingernails, and she had semen. So why not test those 2 items? See whose those are. Doesn't that make sense? Alright. I don't really have much more to. I think once we'll go through the final, look through the body camera, maybe try to put together all the important parts, and then go back through that website that they have that goes through all the details, and sort of look at them together at the same time. All right. So there we go. And then in the Rachel Morin case, so this kind of changes things quite a bit here. So it says Rachel Morin death. Sheriff refutes searcher's claim on finding body. A man who claimed he found Rachel Morin's body did not find the slain mother of 5 and has no first-hand knowledge of the crime, sheriff says. So it makes you wonder if what he was telling people about her being hit with a rock has any accuracy whatsoever. A man who claimed he found Rachel Morin's battered body did not find the slain mother of 5 and has no first-hand knowledge of the crime, the Hartford County Sheriff says. Well, you don't know that, right? I mean, WBAL reported Thursday afternoon that Michael Gabrzeski, who has spoken to media outlets, did not find Rachel, and that's why it didn't match. Remember yesterday we were saying this doesn't match. These are two different stories. She wasn't found in a tunnel. Did not find Rachel or witness her body. He has no first-hand knowledge of the crime. During the weekend, search for missing mom of 5, Rachel Morin, droves of volunteers turned out to help find her. Michael Gabrzeski, 48, told the Daily Mail he and his stepdaughter, Cecilia, found the slain Bel Air woman not far from the trail Sunday afternoon. Morin's boyfriend reported her missing Saturday night after she did not return from an evening walk along a stretch of Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air. The trail runs through Hartford County. Gabrzeski said he and his stepdaughter helped search for Morin. Authorities have not confirmed that. Morin's body was found in a tunnel drain not far from the trail's William Street entrance. I think we figured that spot out on the call yesterday. I mean, on the show yesterday. Thanks, Michelle H. Thought the button was broken there for a minute. Let's see, body found. I think it's going to be... it's not where I have the pin, body found. Or maybe it is. Yeah. So it's probably right here in this little stretch. Because there's a culvert. The creek goes right underneath right here. And the trail head is right there. And it's really the only spot that makes sense. One of the people in the chat mentioned that. Mm-hmm. Who? What do you mean he gave off terrible vibes? And then you said, that's exactly who he reminded me of, but you didn't say who reminded you of. Man, so this is that girl code shit that I don't have any idea. So Cindy says, the guy that was interviewed is like the neighbor that cut up the woman. Oh, I guess the neighbor that cut up the woman. Oh, jeez. Man, who the hell knows what that even means? Hartford County Police stated on their Facebook that this person allegedly did not observe her body. Oh, yeah, we just said that, Meg. That's what we just read that exact thing that you typed in. It's amazing. I mean, hey everybody, the Hartford Police, according to Meg W., said that the person allegedly did not observe the body or the scene, which is exactly what we just read 30 seconds ago. Let's see. Cecilia's stepfather is a Native American who is also a tracker. They followed disrupted ground. Okay, so what are you talking about, Mel? They just said he had nothing to do with it. See, maybe his daughter told him. So Cecilia, this guy that we're talking about isn't her stepfather. I'm not saying anything about him. Somebody in the chat said that. Cindy. I don't believe in any of that stuff. All their trackers, they followed disrupted ground. I don't know. Forget it, Cindy. Just do something else. My God. What is it? She was staying with a married couple. I think he's part of that couple. Right. That in the previous case. Yeah, that's right. We said that yesterday. I was kind of thinking people were still following from yesterday on the previous case. Yeah, it says right here, a Maryland sheriff has denied the claims made by a man who insisted that he saw the body of 37-year-old Rachel Morin on the day she was found. Michael Gabrzeski, 49, claimed that he and his stepdaughter, came across Morin's body on Sunday when they joined the search for the missing mother of 5. Mr. Gabrzeski gave graphic accounts of what he claimed he saw to multiple outlets, describing the scene as a terrible mess. The Hartford County Sheriff's Office told Independent that Mr. Gabrzeski was not even within eyesight of the crime scene when the body was found. Morin was last seen heading to Ma Pa Trail at around 6 p.m. Her boyfriend, Richard Tobin, reported her missing that night after she failed to return home. Morin's body was found the following day, and her death is being investigated as a homicide. Sheriff Jeffrey Gawler on Wednesday called out the heinous coward who killed Morin, vowing that they would be brought to justice. He also confirmed police had yet to identify a solid suspect. Michael Gabrzeski, 49, claimed to multiple news outlets that he and his stepdaughter came across. Yeah, we already read that. So this guy right here inserted himself into the case and wanted to pretend that he found the body. Welcome, Spooky Paws. Yeah, and so then even today there's a, this is yesterday again, but he's sharing the chilling tale. But it's totally bogus. I saw a terrible mess, he said. There's not going to be an open casket. He says Morin's body was found in a pool of blood and had suffered severe head trauma. I mean, maybe he was told that and then pretended he saw it. Don't know. Oh yeah, that's right, he had the visions. Yeah, he had terrible dreams. Yeah, I remember that part. You bet he did what? Anyhow, as you guys can see right here, we're really having one of those struggling nights on here. We have the goal set up at the top of the screen, and I know what it takes each month to get to the goals to be able to do what we do as freaks, all right? And if you guys feel like I do at least do a good job getting this information for you guys. I mean, yeah, I reached out and got the 911 call, the body camera, got to still edit that thing. Talked to Greg Hardy about his situation today, all kinds of different things going on, and just doing the show again. Started kind of late because of the phone calls, but yeah, not sure what makes one day different than the next. You know, that's one of the reasons why people make it's hard to ever switch over and have YouTube be your sole source of income, because it's like, man, you work your ass off every single day, and one day is totally different than the next day for no reason whatsoever at all. You have no idea. There's nothing. It's not consistent. You know what I mean? So, anyways, if you guys would like to help support the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If not, we'll do a couple more things and call it a day. Let's see. I mean, we can listen to, if you guys want to listen to the Broadcastify again. I mean, I think we'll just do a whole nother sort of reset on Morin here in a couple days. Rachel Morin's case. Or Morin. It's probably Morin, right? Yeah. Yeah, it kind of sucks, American lady. It shouldn't be like that at all, you know? I mean, if people are showing up and they like the show, that's what it is, you know? It's like... Yeah, I was thinking about Iris, but I don't know, it's so dead. You know, it's like I could sit on there for another 2 hours reading that. And yep, don't forget that the like button anyways. Yeah. You seem really focused in on that person, Cindy. We don't have any idea if he did something or not. A lot of people just insert themselves into cases because they like the publicity and it makes them feel good. You know, there's people who do all kinds of things like that. Some people, you know, try to play on people's, you know, like... you play like you're a victim to people all day long. And they go, oh, and you like the adulation that you get. You know, there's those kinds of people out there. No, I haven't done Coburger yet. I'm just trying to figure out if it's one of those nights again or not. Wasn't there more to cover on? I haven't even gone to Coburger yet. Well, maybe he is Native American, Cindy. Yeah, I've already said it out loud twice, Tina. Doesn't seem to... Let's see. Wasn't there more to cover on Coburger? Anyways, I'll try to get going on the Coburger thing. We'll just read this document here. See how it goes. I mean, we're a third of the way through the show here. You know, it's weird. It's sort of like this energy thing for me, too. It's like when you see that nobody's really... You get kind of like, oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Spent all those hours getting the shit. It's really deflating as hell is what it is. All right, anyways, here's the thing. It says, I'm an adult over the age of 18, and, yeah, this is it. And I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in this affidavit. I have been engaged as an expert in the above entitled matter since July 27, 2023. So, like 2 weeks. I am a genetic genealogist, having practiced genetic genealogy since 2014. My education background is a bachelor's degree in biology and a PhD in botany. My curriculum I don't know, vitae or vitae or whatever the hell they call it, is attached. You mean your resume. As a genetic genealogist, I have a clear understanding of how genetic genealogy works. I have developed tools that are widespread use by genealogy practitioners. Yeah, so genetic genealogists, I mean, they're basically the same thing as a forensic genetic genealogist. I mean, they all do the same thing. They try to locate relative. Thanks, Iris Rainbow. Try to locate relatives. I mean, for those of you who don't know what genetic genealogy is, I can break it down into a really short form. Hey, Donna D, thank you so much. I can break it down into a short form for you. I mean, are there people watching that aren't really like, how does it actually work? You know? Because I can do it quickly in a way that's like, oh, shit, that's okay. Because I actually had somebody help me learn how to do it one time. I never got good at it. I mean, I was just going, oh, Jesus, man, this is... Thanks, Donna D. Well, look at that. We haven't had one of these in a while, have we? Crime is sector. I'm a certified human detector. Gonna get ya. I'm a stretcher. You would not blame like an old red checker. Crime sector is my nectar. There's gonna be another lecture. Crime collector. Freak connector. Animal's gonna be a puppet detector. Who's a factor? Interceptor. And I'm in that spectre with a vector. On a spectre with those vector. All right, here we go. Here's what forensic genetic genealogy, or just genetic genealogists, what they do is, at a crime scene, they collect a DNA sample from a perpetrator, whether it's touch DNA, blood, semen, whatever. They get the DNA, and there's a whole bunch of other ways to get DNA from, if it's ancient DNA, like somebody was found in the ground 60 years ago, they extract the DNA. Whatever it is, however they extract the DNA, they get a sequence out of it. And sometimes it's difficult to get the sequence. They have this machine out there that might get a fragment here and a fragment there, and they find the overlapping portions, and then they build that's a little longer now. Then they find another part that overlaps, and they attach that, and they ding, 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 ding. Then eventually, and then you can fill it in, because 99% of our DNA we share. So then they just try to get the full sequence, or as much as possible. And once they have that, this is what they do with it. So for all of you, put a 1 if you've done Ancestry.com or 23andMe. I know people hate it when you say put a 1 in for something, but if you've used Ancestry.com or 23andMe, all right? So a lot of you have done it. I didn't say to put a 2 if you didn't. I'm just kidding. So if you, let's say, and how about this? How many of you have downloaded your raw data from Ancestry? So they actually have this zip file that you can download. And so what you do on 23andMe is you spit into a little container, then you ship it off to them, then they create a profile of you with your DNA, and then they match you up with all your relatives. Okay? But they don't open it up for law enforcement to use that database. They don't let you use it. So when you upload it to Ancestry, you download this raw data file that's a zip file. And then you can upload the zip file to these open source websites like GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA, where you, sort of like a public database, I guess. And then you upload it in, and then you can start finding your relatives. They give you back, basically, you upload the zip file, it puts it into the system, your DNA information, and then it gives you back this number called the Centimorgan numbers for your closest matches, right? So if it's like 300, that's probably a first cousin or something like that. If it's 600, it's likely that's maybe 600 is the first cousin. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you start at the very top with your highest matches, and you start figuring out who those people are, and you start building out trees until you're able to find somebody on each side of the family, and then you narrow it down, and you come up with a person. But then you ask yourself, well, how do you take somebody's DNA that you get at a crime scene, because you can't upload that to Ancestry because there's nobody spitting into a container, right? So there's a software program called bioinformatics that can take a DNA sequence and format it exactly the same way that Ancestry and 23andMe have their raw data file. It's exactly the same. So they're just able to take a sequence and format it exactly the same. Then you can take that and you upload it to the public database, and they can only use the ones for law enforcement use only, and the public part of it, or the people who said that they would. It's available for law enforcement use. You have to actually click a button, and so they go in there and they start building out the tree, coming up with matches, and eventually the genealogist comes upon usually the precise person, but sometimes it's just right there in a family they're not quite sure. And so that's when law enforcement steps in with the greatest lead in the history of mankind. Right? It's the greatest lead in the history of mankind. Here you go, officers. Here is the person's name. Okay? So then they get it, and they have to go out and prove all that information. So let's see, how does it work from that? Okay, so originally when you collect the DNA sample from the criminal, you have to upload it in, law enforcement uploads it into CODIS first and looks for matches. When they don't find matches, now genetic genealogy is available, and then they do the bioinformatics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the lead is developed by the genetic genealogist. Then once that happens, law enforcement comes in and they try to verify that the person whose DNA they have is the right person, and they're able to get warrants. And they what they'll do is they'll collect a sample that was thrown away by the suspect, and then they compare the DNA sample to CODIS, and then if that's a match, usually you can get an arrest warrant at that point. Then you do a buccal swab, and then you do a 1-to-1 match with the actual sample DNA, and then boom, they're toast. Okay, so that's basically how it works, everybody. Wasn't that pretty simple? Yeah, that's pretty simple stuff. And in Koberger's case, they found that the sample of his dad's house, they got a sample that was Koberger's dad. And then when they made an arrest, they compared his DNA to the sample that was uploaded to CODIS, and it matched perfectly. So there you go, everybody. Now, hold on one second, I gotta check something out. You didn't like that super helm? See you later. Alright, let's see. Yes, very simple. Interesting. Yeah. So I think it's really cool that somebody invented the software program called bioinformatics that's able to create the same, because like GEDmatch and family tree DNA were, used a lot of times for trying to find relatives. I mean, if you're adopted, it's really easy. You just go to Ancestry.com, load it up, and it says, hey, you're related to so-and-so. Oh, wow. Because it doesn't care. It goes by genetics, not who raised you. Okay, so in this case, they have a genetic genealogy person, an expert, I guess. And that would be, I think somebody who's an expert in genetic genealogy. It's weird. I don't know because forensic genetic genealogy is a little different, okay? Because they're out there, I don't know, maybe they're similar, but they're out there trying to find an unknown person with using a whole bunch of public databases. For example, you Yeah, I mean, C.C. Moore is a forensic genetic genealogist too. I mean, they're all genetic genealogists. I just wonder if there's a delineation between a forensic genetic genealogist and a genetic genealogist. Yeah, not sure, but it's really interesting how you do it. So on GEDmatch, you get your highest centimorgan match, and it usually has like a email or something associated with it. Then you do an email search, and it says, "Oh, this person owns it." And then you might even be able, if you want to, you usually don't do it, but you could email the person and say, "Hey, I just wanted to see if, check to make sure." And once you start building it out, you go to the newspapers.com and you find obituaries. And then when you find, like, when a grandfather passed away, it says survived by his wife, and boom, you fill that part out. And then his children, then you put all the children in and grandchildren, and you just get this massive amount just off of a obituary, and you just keep filling it in. You actually go to Ancestry.com is usually the place where a lot of these people house the full database that they're populating, because they have this really cool system on there, and you can just create your own little trees there, and you could have thousands of people on those trees, but you're trying to find where you get both sides of the family, match it up, work your way down, and then boom, you get the right person. Yeah. All right. Huh? It's a field of collecting and comparing the DNA. I don't think so. I've talked to Colleen about it a million times. Bioinformatics are the people who put together the file that you upload to GEDmatch. That's what she's told me, like, literally 50 times. So I don't know if she's just not saying it right, or not sure if I'm going to believe what you're saying, Christy Cosby. You've never been where? Yeah, she's told me it a million times. That bioinformatics is a software program. Or maybe I don't know, maybe they do both, or I don't know. Does the chat freeze right now? Because it just stopped. I got the same comment on the screen for 20 minutes. Okay, well, I know what I'm talking about, Christy Kazi, because I've talked to Colleen about it like 50,000 times, so I don't need you to sort of contradict what I'm saying. You're 65% German, alright. Yeah, Ancestry.com, yeah, it's kind of cool. You upload on there and boom, you get all the family members and everything. Certificate of birth states my name, sex, where I was born, where, no. I know, you just typed it in, you just said that a second ago. 86753 I saw you the first time. Also got a certificate of birth states my name, sex, where I was born. Oh, you're yeah, okay. No race, no mother. I'm a nut, literally. What's my uncles have called me since I was a child. Yep. Yeah. So here, let me just read it right here, everybody. So just so like you know that I'm not making shit up here. Bioinformatics is an interdisciplinary field of science that develops methods and software tools for understanding biological data, especially when the data sets are large and complex. Anyways, they're the ones that you give them the sequence and whatever information that they have, and then they build out the I don't know if it's a zip file or whatever the hell they give you, but you can then upload it there. Well, they obviously they use software, Christy. I just said that. I just read it to you. Software is a computer program. Do you understand that, or? Oh, good Lord. Let's see. Yeah, I did look it up. I just looked it up. I just saw it just now. Right, so software is a computer program. All right, anyways, let's go here. It says right here, I am an adult over the age of 18 and I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in the affidavit. I have been engaged in an expert in the above entitled matter since July 27, 2023. I didn't say that that's all they do there. I just said that's what they're using to create the zip file. You know? It's a company. I mean, I might have said bioinformatics is a software program. I didn't mean it. If I said that, then that's not absolutely accurate. They're an organization that uses a software program to make the zip file that you upload to GEDmatch, right? Or whatever they do. I don't know if it's a zip file or a whole bunch of files that you upload at the same time. I think it's only I think GEDmatch only accepts a zip file, and somehow it opens it up and then deploys all the other files that are inside of it. I don't know. But what is that face there? Christy Kazi, what is that thing? The system wanted to throw my phone. Right. Well, I don't know what that face is. Yeah, I'm gonna throw. Yeah, so there you go. I'm gonna throw you guys in prison, since we're struggling so mightily tonight. Where is that one? Wait, let me get this set up right. I gotta do it. How do I do it? So if I click on Zozo here, and then I grab Zozo's face, and then move it over to the jail here. Did that work? Yeah, that one. There it is. Yeah. I'm going to put Christy Kazi in there. There we go. There we go. How do I do it? Is that behind the bars? There you go. I get it. She's in prison now. All right. And then who's going into prison after that one? Anybody bailing out Christy Kazi? Anybody? Wow, you guys are mean. Bail, bail, bail. Look at, she's trying to get herself out of prison. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying about it is that software creates the file that's uploaded to GEDmatch. Okay? That's one of the many things that bioinformatics does. I don't know, Christy Kazi. I don't think that's enough. I think some of the other freaks need to help bail you out. Oh, there's American League. Bail for the innocent Christy Kazi. Are you sure she's innocent? I don't know, man. I don't know. Not altogether sure about that. But, yeah, she wasn't bad. Now it's just me stuck in here. I'd like to get to this affidavit here about the genetic genealogy here. I think that'd be fun. Fortunately, I'm languishing in prison. Yep, as innocent as I am. Oh, well, thanks, Marie. That was very kind. And Andrea. So, all right, I don't need to be in prison. That's okay. Let's just do this stuff. I was totally nice anyway, so. All right. So here we go. I am a genetic genealogist. Having practiced genetic genealogy since 2014, which, it's not the longest time in the world, but my educational background is a bachelor's degree, 10 years, 9 years. What's weird is time is it goes by way too fast now. Have you guys noticed that when you get older, time just, weeks go by, wow, it's Friday already? Are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. The pandemic to me feels like it started last year, but it's like 3 years ago now. Thank you, Leslie Castillo. My mom has had a really good take on it. I've said it before, but listen how I think it's real. I think this is a real thing. Listen to this. Listen. Every year that you live is exponentially different. Your first year of life is really slow because it's your whole life. And then the next year is, now it's half of your life, which is really slow and lumbering. Then the next year is a third, and then the fourth, and the fifth, and a sixth, and a seventh. And then when you're 50 or 60, it's 1/60th of your life, and it's just nothing. It's and it almost feels the same ratio, right? Remember how long years would take when you were a kid, when you were 8 or 9, and you're in school, and those years just lumbered on, just endlessly. You just were when's the next year going to happen? And it's so weird, because when you think back and you go, okay, I started when I was in 4th grade, and then 8th grade, and I went to college, that was 8 years. Think about 8 years ago, and it seems like nothing. But when you were in 4th grade, 8 years from then, you're graduating from high school. Think how long those years took. Just think about that. Man, 4th grade, and then it was 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and then, oh my God, freshman year in high school, sophomore year in high school. Those 8 years seem like they took an entire lifetime. Now, when I go 8 years ago, it was 2015? That seems like nothing. Hell, Although, I gotta admit, when I think 2015 is, it's 2 years after the Jodi Arias trial. That does seem like quite a long time ago. But anyways, it's still 2 years after that, though. And it was a couple years before Delphi. So think about it like that. The amount of time that it took from 4th grade to graduate from high school is about the same as when, or let's just do 6th grade to graduating from high school is the same amount of time from when the Delphi case first started. That just seems ludicrous to me, because those 6 years from 6 to 12 took absolutely forever. I think we all remember that. I remember when I was a kid just going, man, I'm going to be 35 someday. Holy shit. I'm going to be 35. Wow. And I just was thinking to myself, that's going to be weird. I'm going to be 35. Yeah, well, I saw that a long time ago. All right. I don't know. I don't even feel like days are long at all. Everything. I mean, I don't ever have enough time in a day. All right. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. I am a genetic genealogist, having practiced genetic genealogy since 2014. And I think most genealogists are women, by the way. They seem to have a knack for it. My educational background is a bachelor's degree in biology and a PhD in botany. My curriculum, vitae, or whatever the hell it is attached. As a genetic genealogist, I have a clear understanding of how genetic genealogy works. I have developed tools that are in widespread use by genealogy practitioners. So that means they're saying that they're not only good at genetic genealogy, they've developed tools that other people use. Thank you, Lava. Genetic genealogy is best described as the use of DNA data to evaluate biological relationships. There are 3 categories of genealogical DNA tests. Y chromosome, I think that's like in hair, something like that. Direct paternal line only. Mitochondrial DNA. I don't know if that's correct what I just said. I don't remember that. Is that what's hair have in it? Isn't that the Y DNA? Because that's what Dr. Fitzpatrick is. That's her specialty is Y DNA. Direct paternal line only. Mitochondrial DNA, direct maternal line only. And autosomal DNA, all branches of a pedigree. I think that's what like 23andMe is and stuff like that. That was a good explanation of that, though. I like that. A genetic genealogist integrates information from these DNA tests with genealogical documentation to reveal or corroborate relationships. Genetic genealogy primarily uses autosomal DNA. Yep, that's what I just said. Tests that were originally designed for biomedical research. Since 23andMe brought their health test to consumer market in late 2007, Family Tree DNA, that's one of those, Family Tree DNA is the same as, or similar to GEDmatch. Thank you, Danielle. And Danielle again. Danielle had one of her friends, or co-workers, I don't know if they were friends or not, but I think she died in a car accident, and family's members were hurt. So hopefully they do okay, but, must be kind of weird. Are you still out there, Christy Kazi? Don't you get Y DNA from hair? Thank you, Lisa L. No, they all died then? Jeez. Oh, so there was 4 siblings. Okay. Anyway, so it says right here, health test. 23andMe brought health tests to consumer market in late 2007. Family Tree DNA, Ancestry DNA, MyHeritage, and a handful of smaller companies have launched their own genetic genealogy products. These companies all provide genealogy tools to their customers on their websites and also produce a raw DNA data file. There you go, that's what we were talking about. That the customer can download. Man, it almost seems like I read this document. The raw data file contains the genetic profile for that customer. This genetic profile is not the same as STR profile. That's for CODIS, yeah. That is commonly uploaded to CODIS in a forensic DNA analysis. Most of the human genome is identical across all people. Ah, God, I said this too, right? Hey, so here's the thing, everybody. So when I'm saying this stuff, I'm not making it up when I'm talking to you about this here, because we've had Dr. Fitzpatrick on so many times that it's like ingrained in our souls, okay? No, why did she leave the building? She was just here a minute ago. Did she have to take off? I think once she got bailed out of jail, she took off. Yeah, maybe we do need one. But isn't that weird? When we're reading this, they're about to say exactly the same thing that I said. The variable, how the most of us share like 99% of the same DNA, and then it's that other portion, so you can fill in a sequence with what's already known, and then you're just looking for the portions that are not shared. Yeah, she took those diet cigarettes and got the hell out of here. Anyways, most of the human genome is identical across all people. Only the DNA positions that vary between individuals are useful for genealogy. See? These variable positions are called single nucleotide. This is actually a really, this is a great thing to read if you just want to get it. I mean, you have to look some of the stuff up. But nucleotide polymorphism. SNP pronounced SNP. SNP pronounced SNP. The direct-to-consumer genealogy companies use a type of test called a microarray that samples roughly 600,000 of these DNA SNPs. Unlike the STR markers used for matching in CODIS, SNPs can convey information about medical and physical traits as well as biological relationships to close and distant cousins. This almost sounds like somebody from Parabon. I gotta be honest with you, but that's writing this. And I'm actually wondering if this might not be. I'm not sure if the name's in here, but it does sort of, sort of sound like how somebody like C.C. Moore would be describing this. I haven't read anything in this document yet. See, this channel going over this means a lot more because we actually know what the hell we're doing here, because we do funding of Jane and John Doe's, and we've had Dr. Fitzpatrick on probably a dozen times, and she goes over all this stuff all the time. So if you're actually paying attention, it's just sort of like, The direct-consumer genealogy companies use a type of test called a microarray that samples roughly 600,000 of these DNA SNPs. Unlike the STR markers used for matching in CODIS, SNPs can convey information about medical and physical traits, and that's what at Parabon they do the Parabon snapshot that looks like it gives you sort of like their eye color, skin tone, hair color, and they even try to come up with physical characteristics of structure, not just skin color and stuff like that. A microarray SNP profile is sometimes called a kit. Wait, let me see. Let me see if that makes sense. Called microarray and samples roughly these DNA SNPs. Okay, a microarray SNP profile is called a kit. Once the lab test is complete, the genealogy company compares the new kit to those already in the database, looking for long stretches of SNPs that are compatible. See, I think this is what I was saying before. It sounds like, you're trying to, when you get this the string, the full string there, you might have a problem, but you're trying to, you put it, there's some kind of a program or whatever they use out there. I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's called, what is that called? Sequencing. They actually have a process in the stage of forensic genealogy is called sequencing. Right? Oh, did it pass sequencing? No, they weren't able to get enough. So it goes through there and it just keeps finding different strands and overlapping. How come? Well, it doesn't matter if you understand it, Zozo. It's just realize that it works. Okay. So, anyways, let's say you took a piano looks like, with all the bars on there. So imagine if you only had a third of the piano. That's not a good example because the keys look the same, but it changes notes. But let's just pretend that they were all different. If you had a third of the piano, and let's say you found another piece of the piano that's got a little bit of that third and then another quarter, you could probably slide it over and go, ooh, see, there's where it lines up, and then boom, now you've got a longer strand. And then you add another one, you find another piece, and you just kind of keep putting it together. It's like tree ring dating. You guys know how tree ring dating is? I think it's similar to that, where you can get you see the width of each year and so forth, and you have a tree that's 400 years old, and then you find a fossilized tree. I don't know if that's a good sample, but let's say a tree that died 300 years ago, you have some of the wood. You can then find where the widths match up, and now you can go back an extra 300 years. Now you got 600 years. Then you find another tree, and you go ding, 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 and then you build this entire sequence like that. And somehow it's able to do that. Now, we don't get to know the actual, okay, they got that little thing, they put it in the gel or whatever, and it does this and that. I mean, we're not, unless you want to go to biology school and learn exactly every single element of how that works. I'm just trying to explain it in sort of a simple term. Yeah, we've moved on from that topic, Gene. So it says a microwave SNP profile is called a kit. Once the lab test is complete, the genealogy company compares the new kit to those already in the database, looking for long stretches of SNPs that are compatible. The company then presents these matches in a list sorted by the amount of shared DNA centimorgans. Yeah, I mentioned that a while ago. Yeah, they just have, because those parts of your genetics are the same. Eye color is one of the, when it says that we share most of our DNA, the other percent is different, and they've been able to determine which of your genes, which part of the sequence is your eye color. And those are done by these really smart people somewhere. It doesn't matter if you get it, though. You get it? It doesn't matter if you get it. Go read books on it. Yeah. Look at right below Zozo. That makes sense. Yeah, just look at a long thing, a long strand of DNA that has your whole thing, and a certain part of that is your eye color. And another little tiny little chunk is your skin color. And they'll be able to determine those portions, and they can tell you, yes, this person has hazel eyes, this one dark hair, and thanks, kitty cat. One of these days, you'll have your eureka moment, Zozo. I guarantee it. I don't even know what that means. 8675309. Do you swipe left or right in tree dating? Wow, what does that even mean? God, that's this total girl code stuff right there. Yeah, Cairo came in there the other day. Why do you want to know? Nomadic Geo. Who the hell are you? I haven't seen you ever in my life in here. Yeah. You don't even look familiar to me. As a matter of fact, let me go check this out. Let's see, what do we got? 2011. It's pretty good. Never heard of you. Never heard of you. Yeah, recessive and dominant genes, right? So. What does it even mean, though? It is kind of girl code. What does it mean, swipe left or right? What does that even mean? What's funny about it? Somebody explain it to me then. Okay, then why are you asking about that one particular person, Nomadic Geo? So on Tinder dating, you swipe left and right? Well, I guess it just shows you what you guys are doing on your spare time. You know what I'm saying? My God. How I don't know about that shit because I'm not on Tinder, you wackos. I mean, you know what's even sadder is a lot of you are married and somehow you knew the Tinder reference. You guys get on Tinder on your spare time and look around or what? Who the hell even knows? Whoa. You guys are busted. I'm going to start sending some emails out now, everybody. Did you see that Nikki Zubs knew what swiping left and right was? Yeah. Man, you guys just got busted in there. I feel like an angel all of a sudden. Holy crap. I don't think so, man. Swiping left and right? Never heard of that in my life. But maybe I'm not normal since it's a normal person reference. No, they don't. Everybody doesn't know what it means. No, everybody doesn't know what it means. Yeah. Right. Let's see. People that use those apps know what it means. Yeah. I mean, what kind of conversation would I be in with somebody that would ever say swipe left or right? I just don't get it. I guess it means when you go onto the app, you swipe left or right to look for a potential match or something? No, they don't. They don't, though, 8675309. I've been reading the comments. There's people that never heard of that either. Yeah, part of the general population does. You know who they are? The ones that use the app. You get what I'm saying? I think we just busted a lot of people in here tonight. All right, get some screenshots there, everybody. Who were the ones that understood what swiping left or right meant? You know what I'm saying? We used the punch cards when I was in college. That's how old I punch cards. Hey, look! When I was a kid, you know what? Art? We were the first people on the block with an Apple II Plus. They could have 48K of memory. It was amazing, man. We played these incredible games. They were the greatest games ever. No, what do you mean? But I don't hang out with people that are using Tinder. 8675309. You guys taking on? All right. We'll see you guys soon. All right. %, chance of blue eyes. Child 1 green, brown. Man, that's some bad luck, Deborah. I don't think it is. Yeah. Let's see. Do you know what slide into? Yeah, I've heard this slide into someone's DM like last year, and I was thinking, that's such a stupid phrase. Oh, they slid into my DMs. No, how about they just sent you an instant message? You know, like slid into your DMs. God, what a ridiculous. Hey, somebody slid into my DMs last night. Who gives a shit, man? Just say they sent me a freaking text message, for God's sakes. But obviously, a lot of people got what she was saying up there, and I'm just wondering why. You know what I mean? Maybe it's similar to slide into your DM. I just hadn't heard that one yet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just really don't give a shit about trying to be cool and know all the cool terms and everything. You know, I just do my own thing, and it's hard to really learn about sliding into a DM when you're discussing murder cases, 7 days a week, and I think it was an actual case that when we heard about that, it said, well, she slid into his DMs. I think they were talking about Koberger even. I think that's when I heard about it. So it wasn't even a year ago. It was like, yeah, Koberger slid into her DMs. And I was like, what do you mean? God, what's that mean? Slid into the... Let me see. Holy shit, slid in... Oh, he sent her a text message. Oh, I thought it was something... Okay. Just some new lexicon that was just invented. No, I already get the joke now. It's just, I don't know. It wasn't really that funny because I'd never heard left and right. Sliding left and right on a screen. So why do they use the word slid into the DMs? Like, how did that come about? Slid. Like it's just sort of sneakily... While we learn Venmo shows purchases public. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I can't stand like the pop culture sort of cool phrases that everybody has to say or you're not cool. Yeah, I slid into the DMs. Oh, I'm so neat. Give me a break. Jesus. All right. Can I get back to this? A standard DNA microarray requires approximately 200 nanograms of quality DNA. Well, what's crazy is Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick and her team did one with picograms. I think 12. Remember that one case? So, yeah. So there you go. A standard DNA microarray requires approximately 200 nanograms of quality DNA. That quality and quantity is often not available from crime scenes or degraded human remains. Instead, specialized laboratories can generate a SNP profile through a more complex process. First, they attempt to sequence the entire genome using next-generation sequencing. This technology works a bit like skimming while reading a document. On the first page... Oh, this is so awesome. This is like the quintessential... this is exactly what I try to explain, but this is more explained like that, but with technicality where it's better. This is so awesome. First, they attempt to sequence the entire genome using next-generation sequencing. This technology works a bit like skimming while reading a document. On the first pass, NGS technology will not capture all of the data, and it may make mistakes. And then it says it involves repeated passes called coverage to get more accurate results. For human genome sequences, 30 times to 50 times coverage is recommended. Once the NGS file is obtained, it must be manipulated, there it is, through bioinformatics, everybody. Man, it's as if I wrote this document to make it compatible with the genealogy databases. Thank you, Dr. Fitzpatrick. The extra data must be stripped out to just the SNPs that the genealogy companies test, right? So that's what I'm saying. They know what's in the zip file, and they format the sequence to match exactly what's used to upload to GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA. And let's see. So it says that the genealogy companies test and missing or ambiguous data must be inferred using statistical methods. Right. So there's some where you're missing part of the sequence, but humans share the same DNA in certain spots, so you just fill it in. The kit is then uploaded there it is, to a genealogy database and evaluate it. A poor quality kit might have too few matches, or it might have phantom matches that are not real measures of relationship. Often the bioinformatics step must be repeated. This trial and error process can take several tries to produce a kit that works well in a genealogy database. Yeah, there's definitely a part right there where they say, did it pass? I remember, like, in that segment, she'll say, yeah, it didn't really pass bioinformatics, or, you know, something like that. Let's see. Only GEDmatch, family tree. Look at, there it is right there. Did I say those two or not? Only GEDmatch, family tree DNA, and some smaller entities allow crime scene and human remains samples to be uploaded. So these are the two main ones. The terms of service of Ancestry DNA and 23andMe and MyHeritage prohibit forensic investigative genetic genealogy in their databases. Now, here's what might happen in the future, is somebody might order a kit and they'll be able to take DNA and format spit. I mean, this sounds ludicrous, but they might be able to format something that resembles spit and implant that with actual DNA and then upload it there and pretend that you're an actual customer, and you'll have a massive database. Like, you'll have 20-something million people in there. So I could see that somebody trying to do that in the future. And then just keep it on the down low, and then you'll know who your suspect is, but then you'd have to pretend that you derived the information a different way. I don't know how that would work, but you know somebody's going to try to do that at some point. What do you mean, huh? If you were paying attention, you would have known what I was talking about. What do you mean? How do they know they've never... What does that even mean, Zozo? Are you trolling me tonight? That's gotta be. God, what a crazy night, man.
It's the house.
Why did that? Okay, how did that confuse you, Eugenie? I'm just curious. These people, when you send your DNA sample to 23andMe and Ancestry, you spit into a little vial, right? And then you send it off. They extract your DNA, and then boom. So in the future, you might figure out. No, you can't make a mistake once you get if you get the DNA sequence correct. No. So anyways, and by the way, at the very end, you compare the DNA to your sample. So yeah, of course mistakes can be made, but at the very end, once you determine who your suspect is, you collect a viable DNA sample from the garbage can, and if that matches CODIS, you then get a warrant and then do a 1-to-1 match, and you got it. So that means you didn't make a mistake. So you know how you spit into the little vials when you're doing 23andMe and Ancestry? You guys have all done those, right? So maybe in the future, if they aren't finding an answer, they'll figure out a way to make it look some sort of synthetic spit thing where you're able to put the sequences of DNA inside this like spit type stuff to send in, is what I'm saying. What do you mean, nope? What are you guys talking about? Man, you're like 30 seconds behind. I don't even know what question you're... you should do a short video that explains how it works for us. Reference when you have time. Did you hear what I said? Right, because you haven't done 23andMe or Ancestry.com. Yeah. I know, Spooky Paws. We're reading it. I just read the whole damn thing. It's so weird. I've been saying this stuff. 23andMe and Ancestry.com require you spit into a vial, and then they take your DNA and they create your profile on there. When you're not using them, you have to create it differently by extracting the DNA, getting it, and sending it to bioinformatics. Then they create the raw data file that you would download from 23andMe or Ancestry had you used their system. But I'm just wondering in the future if somebody could make something that seemed like synthetic, like DNA, or like spit, I mean, put it into the vial with the unknown suspect's DNA, and you just pretend that you're somebody, and it uploads, and it gives you back all their relatives, and then boom, you're onto something. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? I mean, I could see some sort of, you're just a really important serial killer case where you're just not getting the matches, and somebody entrepreneurial sort of creates a fake name, John Smith Jr. You load up, you send in a vial with something that looked like spit, but it has DNA in it, and their extracting machines extract it exactly right, create a profile, and then you have access to 20 million people, not just one or two that are in GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA. Does that make sense? How about that time? Okay, good. I thought I sort of said it the same way at the beginning, but I don't know. Okay, only GEDmatch, Family Tree, and some smaller entities allow crime scene and human remains samples to be uploaded. The terms of service of Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, and MyHeritage prohibit forensic investigative genetic genealogy in their database. However, in the absence of effective oversight, forensic genetic genealogists are on an honor system to obey the terms of service and of the Department of Justice interim policy on forensic genetic genealogy. What do you mean, however? In the absence of effective oversight, forensic genetic genealogists are in an honor system to obey the terms of service and the Department of Justice interim policy on forensic genetic genealogy. Each of the genealogy databases compares the user's DNA data to all of the other data files in their database, then presents a list of DNA matches who share meaningful amounts of DNA. And they're talking about the big ones right now. The match list includes the match's name or alias, how much DNA they share. This might be, I think they're referring in this one to GEDmatch and Family Tree. The match list includes the match's name or alias, how much DNA they share, that's centimorgans, and occasionally a link to a family tree that the match has voluntarily provided. So those are the people who download their raw data and then they upload it to GEDmatch or Family Tree DNA. The genetic genealogy database are siloed from one another. If you test at Ancestry and your siblings test at 23andMe, you will not be matched to one another because you're not in the same database. GEDmatch is a third-party site that functions as a genetic genealogy commons. A user can upload their raw DNA data file from their testing company. And this is such an awesome document here, you guys. I just got to tell you, like, this is so... this is perfect. A user can upload their raw DNA data file from their testing company. So that's like Ancestry and 23andMe. You get the raw DNA data file from the testing company and find matches to people who upload to GEDmatch from different companies. And that's, you're creating, you download a zip file and you upload it directly to GEDmatch and pick law enforcement use also. And you upload it there, and then you get another list there of by centimorgans. So like GEDmatch, Family Tree DNA and MyHeritage also allow uploads of raw data files. Ancestry DNA and 23andMe do not. So MyHeritage, I think, is not similar to GEDmatch and Family Tree, but it might be one of a bigger one. So man, that would open the door to uploading your raw file from. Well, I guess that wouldn't. Why wouldn't you just leave it on Ancestry at that point? That's bigger. But you could take the raw file and upload it to MyHeritage from Bioinformatics. So you could take the Bioinformatics and upload it to MyHeritage. I don't know if MyHeritage is smaller than GEDmatch or Family Tree, but I thought that was more of like a commercial site, that one. Broadly speaking, the more DNA two people share, the more closely they are related. The correlation is not perfect, though. Any given centimorgan amount can represent more than one possible relationship. Right, yeah, like you can be I'm just going to throw out a first cousin, once removed, or a second cousin, or something like that, right? The testing companies suggest probable relationship, but experienced genetic genealogists typically use, there's an actual tool that I have the link to, where it shows you generally what the, well, let's see, I mean, it's right here. I have this on my computer somewhere, because this is one of the ones that they gave me when she was showing me how to do this. Yeah, right here. So see that right there? These are the centimorgan counts, half sibling, 11. So it literally tells you right here. Half, second cousin, 120, 10 to 325. I mean, they've got all these different things right here. Right in the middle here, sibling is 1600, 2613, or it could be 1613 to 3488. So that's a centimorgan count. That's how much shared DNA that you have. Shown it right for a hypothetical match of 200 centimorgans to see mathematical probabilities of different relationships for a given centimorgan amount. Note that there are nearly 20 possible relationships listed for a match of 200 centimorgans, which is considered a fairly close match. Yeah, so if you look on here, 200, it's not there. So right here, half, second cousin. Looks like you can even be a half first cousin once removed. Looks like even a half great aunt, uncle. See? And this is the low end over here. And then it kind of goes here, and then it goes to the other side over here like that. Like they don't really like to work in these levels out here, 0 to 120. Like if you have 28 centimorgan, that's tough. You know, you've got a lot of work ahead of you there. All right, you guys, we're almost at the goal tonight. Wouldn't that be fantastic? We're at 70%. We can do it. I know we can do it. Shared centimorgan tool shown at right for I mean, this is actually interesting stuff if you guys actually gave a shit. You know what I mean? So anyways, to see mathematical probabilities of different relationships for a given centimorgan amount. Note that there are nearly 20 possible relationships listed for a match of 200 centimorgans, which is considered a fairly close match. Thank you, Jessica Schubach. Adoptees have used genetic genealogy DNA tests to identify their biological families. Yep, so it was like I even mentioned that earlier too. Looking for adopted your parents. That's a good way to learn how to do this, actually. Adoptees have used genetic genealogy DNA tests to identify their biological families for roughly 15 years now. The same method used for people with unknown percentages can be used to identify forensic samples from a crime scene or unidentified human remains. Unlike standard forensic STR tests, which are used to identify individuals, genetic genealogy testing identifies possible relatives. First, the genealogist attempts to build family trees for the DNA matches of the person of interest, starting with the closest matches. See, I was saying that earlier too. You start off with the highest centimorgan and you work your way down. Matches. Relatively few users of GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA post their pedigrees there, so the genealogist must build trees for them. We attempt to identify the match using their screen name and email addresses. Didn't I say that earlier? Then we search public records, social media, obituaries, news articles, and genealogy websites to build out their tree through their parents, grandparents, and so on. Man, you'd almost think I wrote this thing. It was pretty wild. Most genetic genealogists build these so-called, except this is written way better than I explained it. Most genetic genealogists build their so-called research trees at Ancestry.com. Didn't I say that too? That most genealogists, they use Ancestry.com to build their tree? Come on, man. What's wrong with you? I should be getting a lot of booms here, because this is all just from talking to Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick. I mean, it's pretty amazing, right? Like this, every single thing is in here. The goal of building trees is to figure out how two or more matches are related to one another. For example, if the person of interest matches two people who share a grandparent, making them second cousins to one another. Let's see. Two people who share great-grandparents, share a great-grandparent couple, making them second cousins to one another. The genealogist now knows which branch of their tree is relevant to the search. The person of interest could be a descendant from that couple, or the connection could be one or more generations further back through either the husband or the wife in that couple. Once several of the DNA matches have been connected to one another, the genealogist must figure out how the person of interest fits into the tree of those matches. We use age, sex, geographic location, and other circumstantial evidence alongside the DNA-based relationship predictions. A statistical tool called What Are the Odds can analyze multiple DNA matches together to evaluate where the person of interest best fits into the tree. Yeah, that's what Dr. Fitzpatrick was telling me. At some point they think that they're going to be able to automate a lot of this stuff, which kind of sucks because it takes away, I mean, I think you could try to automate it, and then the human needs to come in to finesse to, you know, I think it'd be really I mean, AI though, you know, it's kind of weird because they probably at some point might be able to look through obituaries, find the matches, start building out trees. I mean, it's pretty weird. I don't know. People are really, you know, they pretend that they care about stuff like this stuff, but when you make, I mean, we can just prove it, because when we have the best in the world at it, Dr. Fitzpatrick on here, and you got like 250 to 300 people watching, it just shows you that nobody really gives a shit about what really goes on behind the scene. When I say nobody, I just mean most people. And then all of a sudden one day you could say, Brian Koberger picked up his booger off the ground, 7,000 people watching. Where is it? Where's the booger? Let me see it. Where's that damn booger? I was just kidding. Oh, you bastard. I wanted to see where the booger was. Great. Well, how about you come back tomorrow night? We're going to talk about genetic genealogy. We got Dr. Fitzpatrick on, the best in the world at it. Oh, well, if you give me a call when there's boogers, I'll be right back. Thank you. Isn't that ridiculous? Hey, thanks, Cindy Leon. Everything grosses you out. 867-5309. Tell me you haven't watched Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick without telling me you haven't watched... Huh? Tell me you haven't watched Colleen Fitzpatrick without telling me you haven't watched... I don't even get it. Hey, but thank you. It's probably another euphemism, sort of colloquialism that I'm just not aware of. I can't get a tree, hell, not even a branch. Yeah.
Tell me you haven't watched Police.
Hey, but just you get it, Cray, without getting it. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Yes, we're now at 74.12%. What are the odds is not intended to give a definitive answer. Rather, it points the genealogist towards the most likely branches in the tree for further research. Oh, that's interesting. The tool is also not appropriate for all circumstances. For example, it is not intended for populations that married within themselves for double cousins or when most of the matches are below 40 centimeters. So that's one of the things that she talks about sometimes is you sometimes have populations of people that are sort of inbred a little bit, like these places where a first cousin marries another first cousin, and then you got these really weird problems going on, you know. And also there's also a problem with the coverage of, like, for example, black people. They don't use the services as much, and nor do they download the raw data and upload it to GEDmatch. So it's it's affects being able to identify African American people. And so the thing is with GEDmatch, or let's see, what was I talking about? GEDmatch? No, I was talking about Identifinders actually has an individual there that's really good at identifying, doing genealogy on African Americans. So that's cool. That's how we got the serial killer victim identified. Often the best we can do with the Okay, let me go back up here. We are looking for instances where the descendant is one DNA family tree married a descendant in another DNA family tree, because those unions point to where the person of interest might fit in the tree. Often the best we can do with existing DNA matches is to focus on a set of cousins as candidates. Then more DNA testing is required. Yeah, so they do. This happens a lot where they're stuck. They get to the cousins, and then that's when they start reaching out to cousins and family members, or just people out there, and saying, would you mind if we send you a kit? Would you upload it to Ancestry, and then we'll walk you through downloading they explain it all to them. And they do it often. And they're able to fill in more parts of the tree, and then it gets them to the right place. Thanks, Lisa L. Yeah. And one of the things I think that would really help I've said it before, it would actually be a great cross-section of all society, is to put, since people in prison are already uploading to CODIS, why don't we have at the same time, you use bioinformatics to upload a kit to GEDmatch, and it's part of their permanent forensic genetic genealogy service that law enforcement can use. So anybody in prison, you get uploaded in there, so you'd have millions of more samples in there, and it would be a very diverse population across all the states. I think that'd be incredible. And it's just so weird that it's not happening. You're already putting them into CODIS, so that you're collecting their DNA already. So why don't we put them into that database too? Yeah. It's just such a weird... that will happen, I bet, at some point. Somebody will finally figure that out. Like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, Yeah, and a lot of times there's... Why does it cost so much? What cost so much? What are you talking about? Too much of a good idea, pass. Yeah. I think it's like a phenomenal idea. You've already said we get to have your DNA for now into our system forever. Okay, great. So just make it, and also your DNA is going to be uploaded to GEDmatch for forensic genealogy. Ah, man, I just feel like that would start solving so many cases. It would be ridiculous at that point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ding 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 diddle ding ding. Ding 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 diddle ding ding. Ding 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 diddle ding ding. Well, hey, thank you to a friend out there who also sent in a PayPal. Appreciate it. Okay. Be way too effective. I know it's. I mean, don't you think that that is just a incredible idea? Honestly, I mean, how many people? Let's just type it in. Yeah, I mean, we've got, what about 1.5 million people in prison. And, you know, so that's like every year. But every year, you know, a whole set of new people come in there. You would build that database up to like 10 million in 10 years. It would just be amazing. All they'd have to do is just make it a big part of it. Right when they create CODIS, like have every police department have the software portion to create the bioinformatics setup, and then you just upload it to GEDmatch. It wouldn't even cost you a nickel, other than there's an employee making these. And once you get going, you know, you just do it over time, right? So each prison, you have a place over there where each time a new prisoner comes in, you collect their DNA for CODIS. You also create a bioinformatics kit, and you upload it, and you shepherd it through the system. You just, you know, have 3 or 4 employees at each prison, and then you catch up over time for the old cases, you know, like people that have been in prison, you got to put them in. And it's just, God, it just seems so simple to me. All right, let's keep going here, though. The genealogist needs to do this for both the maternal and paternal sides of the person of interest pedigree. Often, this involves building dozens of trees, performing several what are the odds analyses. We are looking for instances where a decedent in one DNA family tree married a decedent in another DNA family tree, because those unions point... see, that's why the inbred thing is so difficult. Where the person of interest might fit into the tree. Often, the best we can do with the existing DNA matches is to focus on a set of cousins or as candidates, then more DNA testing is required. This process can vary in complexity depending on the individual starting point. In doing this type of research, the genetic genealogist will generate numerous documents to ensure an adequate paper trail. This paper trail can include the list of DNA matches, the research tree with genealogical documentation, public record searches for members of the DNA family, correspondence with DNA matches, descendant diagrams showing how the DNA matches are related to one another, and what are the odds analysis. This documentation is necessary. I don't think like Identifinders uses, you know, what are the odds or any of that stuff. I don't know. I guess we'd have to ask about that. DNA matches sometimes hide their profiles, and error in the tree can mislead the genealogist, and the decedent's diagram and what are the odds analysis are usually updated repeatedly during a search. As a genetic genealogist, I have learned about the power and the privacy implications of genetic genealogy. The tests themselves were designed to reveal biomedical information and can also reveal family secrets about the tester. It may, in many cases, private information can be inferred about the DNA relatives of the tester as well. For those reasons, leaders in the genetic genealogy community develop standards that emphasize consent and privacy. I am aware of the Department of Justice interim policy to limit when forensic genetic genealogy can be used and which databases are acceptable to law enforcement. It is possible for the databases to be utilized in a way that circumvents these core principles. Notably, I am aware of a case in which the chain of custody failed and the wrong SNP profile was sent to the wrong client. Oh, that would suck. Investigative genetic genealogists uploading SNP profiles to a forbidden database in violation of that company's terms of service and the Department of Justice interim policy, meaning you uploaded something to maybe Ancestry or 23andMe. And then C, forensic genetic genealogy being used for a case that did not meet the Department of Justice threshold. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but GEDmatch actually, so the way it worked on GEDmatch before, do you guys want to hear this part? So GEDmatch used to be where every single person who uploaded there, it automatically, when you uploaded the raw data from 23andMe or Ancestry to GEDmatch, it automatically was for law enforcement use. Then a few years back, somebody used the database for a violent assault case. But the terms of service for GEDmatch were sexual assault, homicides, or unknown person. So the violent assault case didn't fit in there, and so GEDmatch panicked, for lack of a better term, and what they did was they immediately removed every single person from law enforcement use from GEDmatch, and then they had to do, these genealogists and everybody had to, do these massive posts. Everybody opt in, everybody. So everybody had to go back to GEDmatch themselves and then click on the little police icon to accept being used for law enforcement. And that just set that back dramatically. And now it's built back up into the over 1 million again. Oh, well, there you are, Christy Kazi. I think we went past that part, but doesn't that suck though, you guys? So anyways, I'll be back in a second. I think I gotta go blow my nose. And here comes 8675309. That's gross. Me too, Cindy. Can't stand that phrase. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so these are the samples that she's talking about where, or he, I don't know if this is she or he at this point. Probably a she. I would say 95% of the genealogists are women. So these are the instances where things went awry. Investigative genetic genealogists using security loopholes to see DNA kits who are opted out. Oh, wait. Investigative genetic genealogists using security loopholes. Yeah, because you just pretend that you're not law enforcement. And you use the whole database. That's all you'd have to do. Who are opted out of forensic matching and GEDmatch and family tree DNA. A case in which a SNP profile was performed on an innocent woman, a potential Fourth Amendment violation of her right to privacy, and uploaded to GEDmatch without her knowledge or consent. Yeah, I mean, that sucks. Having access to the data and methods used to identify someone will provide answers to compliance with Department of Justice policies, how a DNA sample was handled from the time of collection through its forensic genetic genealogy testing. So they're going to go all out on trying to get that sample of Brian Koberger's thrown out. The use of SNP profile, the use or lack thereof of loopholes, and violations of terms of service to the various genetic genealogy databases. Let's see. Yeah. Further, your affiant. So this is Leah Larkin. Is that who this person is? Yeah. The DNA geek. Professional experience. Founder and lead genealogist at the DNA Geek. Oh, I just was looking online really quick. Consulting services for unknown parentage. Author of the DNA Geek blog. Co-developer of Banyan DNA, an online tool for advanced genetic genealogy analysis. Co-developer of What Are the Odds tool. Now, it sounded like something that was hers. A revolutionary tool for statistical analysis of autosomal DNA matches. Genealogist for the TLC television show Taken at Birth. Genealogy consultant for TLC television show I Should Have Known. Let's see. Solicited manuscript, coordinated peer reviews, edited papers for publication. Hey guys, is there any chance we'll meet the goal tonight, you guys? I'm just curious. I mean, I thought tonight's show we went through so much great stuff. They are throwing everything against the wall to see if, yeah. One of the issues they're having though is the FBI got rid of their work. You know, like what they did to get there. You know, so that's kind of tough. So they might have to do something where they take the sample and do a third-party blind attempt to reproduce the same thing. Yeah, freelance pedagogy writer, freelance content specialist, freelance assessment writer, freelance court evaluator, freelance lesson writer. So this is back before, before she was even doing anything related to that. I guess not. It's a pretty long thing here, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, like Michael Bodden, he has this really long thing too, but he'll tell you anything you want to hear. You know, that's my opinion, anyways. Yeah, I know, but they're going to say, what they're going to try to argue, Christy Kazi, is it was fruit from a forbidden tree. They're going to say that whatever, they're going to try to figure out a way that the process should not have been allowed on how they did the forensic genealogy. Therefore, even though his one-to-one match was perfect, it was fruit from a forbidden tree and should be thrown out. I guarantee that's the angle they're going for. That's all they got. Because once it led to him, obviously, it then, you know, they did the one-to-one. They got the buccal swab, right? They do, like I said before, they put a sample into CODIS. There was no match. Then they surreptitiously gathered a sample of DNA after they did forensic genealogy, and it led back. So basically, let's see. The touch DNA sample they got off the sheath was processed and put into the genealogical system and uploaded the GEDmatch and probably family tree DNA. Then they got the match. Then they surreptitiously gathered some DNA out of a garbage can. It turns out to be the biological father of Brian Kohberger. And so that was enough for a warrant for his arrest. And once he was arrested, they then took his DNA. And by the way, once they they took the swab off of the sheath. That goes into CODIS. All right. Then once they get, let's see, the garbage can DNA, you know, that they got, they compare that to CODIS, and that was the biological father. So then they said, okay, that's enough for an arrest warrant. Then they arrest Kohberger, and then they do a buccal swab and do a one-to-one comparison with the original sample from the buccal swab, and it matched perfectly. So what they're going to do is try to say that it was fruit from a forbidden tree. So even though a judge will be looking at it going, wow, so this is him, and you're going to sell something to me, and I have to rule whether or not to accept something that absolutely 100% proves that the DNA on the knife sheath is Brian Kohberger. So there you go. That's what they're going for. Thanks, Danielle. I think technically we probably already reached the goal with some of the. I got some generous PayPals in there, so thank you guys. It's always nice to see it up on the screen there, especially when you have 400 and something people watching, and we reached the goal with 200 people watching many times. They're expensive because all the amount. What's expensive? What are you guys talking about all the time? Yeah. I mean, are you saying what's so expensive? Why is it $6,000 that we pay to for each of the cases? Well, it's obvious. I mean, you know, first of all, you got a genetic genealogist that spends hours on it. Then you've got all these professional services out there that procure the DNA and try to extract it. So first of all, you got extraction. Then you've got sequencing. And then if sequencing doesn't work, there's other techniques like enrichment and other things that can kind of help that. And then you try sequencing again. And once you got a sequencing, then you send it off to bioinformatics, and they'll tell you, well, it's not good enough yet or something. Yeah, it didn't pass. Yeah, well, like you don't pass sequencing, and then you cannot pass bioinformatics. Like they weren't able to build a kit. Yeah, it's obvious. I've just explained it to you. Yeah. You know, and they have to also get DNA out of bones sometimes. That costs money. I mean, should everybody... These are people that work, you know? They just do it for free? I don't know how they... What do you mean, how did they figure it out? They're scientists. They figured out stuff over the years, you know? man, I don't know how to answer like some of your questions. It's difficult for me. How did they figure it out? I don't know. Some smart guy that looked like Dexter, probably had a tape in the middle of his glasses. Obviously dark rimmed glasses. No muscles whatsoever. A big head. Probably about 5'8". Was really good at computers in college, and later on he just got really, really smart. Does that make sense? So I think this is pretty cool here, though. So on GEDmatch, well, shit, can I go to GEDmatch? Do I still have? All right, where is GEDmatch? Hold on, GED match. Yeah, there it is. Oh, new match. Okay, update my setting. Yes, show me. Okay. Yeah, so like right here on GEDmatch. Oh, that's not it. Jesus Christ. Every time. It's the same thing. This one right here, your DNA resources. See, you have to right here, police use right there. I clicked on it. There you go. What's the tools? Here, let me just see. Let me click on my profile here. No, that's not what I wanted. One to many. Yeah, I'm not sure why it doesn't show any of my matches anymore on there. Weird. Tools. Hold on. Where does it have my kit number? Is that it right there? The D this way. Yeah, there we go. So look, like this is what it looks like on GEDmatch right here. See, when I look at this, want to see something funny? When I was doing my test here, there's somebody right here with 756 centimorgan. Can you see that one? That's crazy, right? It turns out, you know what? You want to hear something crazy? I just learned about this person a year before I uploaded here, and it's one of my mom's sister's children that was adopted at birth. So this would have been the hardest thing in the world. I was supposed to try to figure out where I was with pretending I didn't know who I was. So this is my kit. And then you have all these names on here with centimorgans. I have 756, 251, which is pretty good. 251 is up there, that's... And then there's a 123, and then after that it's really low, 54, 54. So, 251 is weird because the person's name I've never even heard of before. There's somebody named Hughes, Huse by D, so I wonder if that's somebody phonetically spelling their name. But you see what I'm saying when I was just showing you that, how that looks? And then you click on you figure out who owns the email, and then you can find their actual name, and then start doing research on them and try to figure out where you're at on the tree. So, anyways. Oh, you couldn't see. Shit. What do you mean? Oh, was that? Well, I'm not showing you anymore. I put it on the screen a second ago, though. Do you guys want to see where I'm at so far on the Kohberger, the timeline video? Well, where the hell did I put it? Oh, there. In that one. Oops. Yeah, I'm only 4 minutes into it, but it kind of takes a while. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. No, that's not the one. Hold on, let me close this down. I don't even know where. Is that where it is? Yeah. Alright, here we go. Maybe I should get that music that I like in there. Hold on. Put that playing in the background. Hold on. I think it's called Dark Times, this one. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's just see what that sounds like. Might not be good. Put that in there. Audio, make it maybe negative 15 or something. Alright, let's see. On November 13th, 2022, a quadruple homicide occurred at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, just off the University of Idaho campus. Killed in the incident were Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Madison Mogan. The two surviving roommates were Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen. Both Dylan and Bethany were in their rooms during the time of the murders. On June 23, 2022, Brian Kohberger opens his cell phone account in Pullman, Washington, with his new number ending in 8458. On August 16, 2022, law enforcement shows up to 1122 King Road regarding a noise complaint and gives Kaylee Gonzalez a verbal warning. On August 21, 2022, between 10:34 p.m. and 11:35 p.m., Kohberger's phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage to 1122 King Road. At 11:37 p.m. that same night, Klickitat County Sheriff Deputy Corporal Duke's body camera and report showed Brian Kohberger was detained as part of a traffic stop that occurred in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger was the sole occupant and was driving a white 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania plate LFZ 8649 set to expire on November 30th, 2022. Kohberger provided his phone number, which ended in 8458. Kohberger's phone utilized resources consistent with this traffic stop at Farm Road and Pullman Highway. On September 1st, 2022, at 8:50 p.m., law enforcement showed up to 1122 King Road again regarding a noise complaint. Law enforcement speaks to Madison Mogan on the phone. Then at 12:40 a.m. on September 2nd, the following morning, law enforcement shows up yet again to 1122 King Road almost 4 hours later for another noise complaint. This time, law enforcement speaks with Xana Kernodle. On September 23, 2022, Brian Kohberger, who is a teacher's assistant, has an altercation with a faculty member. On October 3rd, 2022, Koberger meets with Professor Snyder to discuss norms of professional behavior. On October 14th, 2022, Brian Koberger was detained in another traffic stop by a WSU officer. Koberger was the sole occupant driving a 2015 white Elantra, plates LFZ 8649. On October 21st, 2022, Professor Snyder emailed Koberger about how he has failed to meet the expectations of a teacher's assistant. On November 2nd, 2022, the graduate director met with Koberger to discuss an improvement plan. On November 3rd, 2022, Koberger agrees to the improvement plan via email. Brian Koberger's phone utilized the same cellular resources as 1122 King Road at least 12 times prior to November 13, 2022. All but one of these occasions were in the late evening hours. From 9 p.m. on November 12, 2022 to 1:45 a.m. on November 13, 2022, Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were attending a Sigma Chi fraternity party at 735 Nez Perce Drive. Bethany Funk estimated that Ethan and Xana returned to the King Road residence at 1:45 a.m. Ethan did not live there. Between 10 p.m. on November 12, 2022 and 1:30 a.m. on November 13, 2022, Kaylee and Madison were at the Corner Club in downtown Moscow, Idaho. Not long after that, Kaylee and Madison went to the Grub Truck at 318 Main Street in downtown Moscow for a late-night snack. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I think it's going to be pretty sweet, though, because when I get to the car part, the moving around of the vehicles and everything, I've already got that stuff, like some videos, right? So I just plug that in. I think it'll be pretty sweet, So I think it's going to be, I don't know. I think it'll be pretty good. So. Koberger surveillance. Yeah, see, it's right there, too. There goes Blue. He's doing his little cough again. I'm going to have to give him one of his little pills. So, anyways, I think that's going to do it, you guys, for tonight. Thank you on there to... And that's what I need. That's what I have a lot more time to do these... making videos when I don't have to, I don't know, like during the daytime. So I'm doing the show, I edit the show that the day freaks watch. And then while I'm listening to that, I try to work on this. It takes a long time, so you got to find everything. Does anybody know what video, when I did the Grub Truck videos? I can't find those for some reason. I don't know. I'm trying to find like the raw Grub Truck videos. Does anybody have that? Hey Blue, how's it going, buddy? So, anyways, thanks out there to I don't know if the person's name is I'll just say Marie. I'm not sure what the word that you said was. So thank you, and then also very kind, and Andrea, and then also another friend on there. So thank you so much. It's the friend that's not feeling well. So appreciate that. And then on here, fortunately, we didn't make the on-screen goal. Even though the content was absolutely fantastic. You got to admit. Dobby Smith, Yabba Dabba Doo, Amber Maiden, Allie Cake, Tina Susser, American Lady, Eugenie, Deborah Blum Rogers, Just Junie, Hams of Horror, Michelle H., new member, Spooky Paws, Iris, Rainbow, Donna D with a cat eye. Thank God for that. Ashley Snow, Christy Kazi, American Lady, Christy Kazi again, Leslie Castillo, Lava, Danielle, Lisa L, Kit Kat, Brown Eyed Girl 714, Jessica Schubach. Let's see. Nomadic Geo, a new member. Cindy Leon, Lisa L, and Danielle at the end there. So cool, everybody. Thank you all for being here tonight. What did we get to? 2 hours and 41 minutes. Not too bad. Any thoughts? Last thoughts out there? What does that mean? I love running into people over different channels. What does that mean? I love running into people over at. Is that what you're saying? Man, I sure hope you're not seeing freaks over at these other ones. Jesus, man, they're just garbage. Let's see. Does Madison say... No, she doesn't say that. God, that's too bad, Teresa. Jesus. Man, that's sick. Great show tonight. Definitely wouldn't... But I didn't... Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah. There are a lot of channels on YouTube, Gray. Yeah, they're terrible, Cindy. Like 99% of them. You've seen them, right? Like, honest to God, like... Mm-hmm. Right. I saw someone from here, too. Right. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I would say about 90% of the true crime live streaming YouTube channels are terrible. Now, there's people listening to me saying that, and they think I'm one of those people. But I can assure you that I'm not one of those people. Okay? You see it when you go over there and you're like, wow. I guess you'll just see it when you see it, right? When you see somebody putting out stuff that is purely sensational, allowing thoughts on totally bogus stuff that has almost no chance of being real, and then everybody gets really hyped up about it. That's when you know it's garbage. Mm-hmm. Let's see, I watch a few others. Yeah. Well, not that you think, Ashy Snow. Yeah. Let's see. Another great show. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the whole Krama thing. They're almost all Krama. And then there's ones that are just hideous. They get so many people watching, but they're still doing the Delphi Trash the Family videos, and you just wonder what kind of mentality there are of these people. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you do that, though, this account. Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Cannot stand... Yeah. Yeah, the Mafia. Oh, it's... Like, why is there people that think that the Koberger has anything to do with drugs at all? I don't understand. How did it work? He just was going over to their house to buy drugs and things went wrong. Then he kills everybody with a K-bar knife he just happened to have on him, wearing all black, because he usually goes and buys drugs at night wearing all black. And then on the way home, he drives this crazy route all the way down. Yeah. Who cares if he was an addict 20 years ago? Jesus. Frontline. I like Frontline. I'm not saying just me, but I mean, everyone's covering different things too. But at least over here you get to talk about other cases. Instead of just Koberger over and over and over again, or Hurman every single day for 6 months. I mean, there's literally a show right now, probably at the same time that I'm doing this, that's probably going to have 6 or 8 people on a panel. And they have Koberger as the first word every single night in their stream, and that's all they do is just sit there and ruminate on the most mundane, ridiculous things over and over and over again. And I'm just wondering how that's something that, Gray, why do you care? It's, I don't know. Should be some kind of rule. Like if you're in true crime, you should have to have something where you have a certain percentage where you cover different cases or something, you know? Because it just feels like you're using a case if you just cover it 24/7 for. I mean, I can see doing when a case is new and it's big, and you're doing like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, and there's always something new coming out. That makes sense. But once it's reached the threshold when there's really no, like there isn't, you couldn't do a full show on that DNA PDF right there. I mean, you could if you just sat and stopped and talked the whole time. No, I don't. I do show up to channels when somebody goes, great, man, you hear this idiotic thing, and I'll listen for a minute. But I never watch any other channels to try to learn something. Ever. Okay? I do show up to channels sometimes, and I just go, God, I'll even type in like, that's ludicrous. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know, Teresa. Are you a troll, Teresa? I'm just curious. Your comments come across as troll-like. Yeah. Yeah, we've done trials in real time, too. Just in case you weren't aware. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Right. You mean the lasted KB DNA? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, I mean, I think there's good, there's good channels out there. I just think if you notice that there's all these people, whenever there's a big case, these new channels just pop up as if it's the new gold rush, where, hey, there's gold in them there hills. And I actually compare it to it. It's very similar. They'll sit there, just like that channel that I'm telling you about, who are panning the gold, the stream of Koberger, every single night. They get their little sleuth box out, they lay it down, and they let it run for 3 or 4 hours in the Koberger stream, hoping to God that some nuggets will come in. Then they do it the next night. And then, all of a sudden, Koberger's case is done, and there's no stream. They'll find the next really big case and just move their sleuth box over to that new stream, if you will. It's not organic at all. It's like these. So you got all these channels that pop up, and they're like, oh, I mean, I got it. They come on there, and then once the big case is over with, it just goes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the 9th show that you've mentioned. Let's see, I've seen it too many times, unfortunately, with big cases. Doesn't seem like the mods are kicking in tonight. Fortunately, the stigma of being an addict follows someone. Yeah, Koberger, that's not why people are saying that about Koberger. They just don't want it to be what's really obvious. They want it to be something bigger. See what I'm saying? So they go, ooh, it's got to be a drug dealer. They need Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortenson's, everything explained about them. So the way they do it is they go, ooh, they've always been suspicious. Hey, they're the ones that are selling drugs to Koberger, who showed up wearing all black, by the way, and a face mask. Because that's what normal people do when they're meeting somebody that they would regularly buy drugs from. And guess what? They'll often carry a K-bar knife on with them. And yes, occasionally they'll kill 4 kids and then drive their vehicle. Okay, so let's just say this. He was going there to buy drugs. Why did he do 4 loops, everybody? Where he drove around. Well, he was just waiting for the signal to come in. Ooh, that's how we can make it work. The signal. I don't have any. this account. Sorry. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like all your comments. I don't know if you were timed out or whatever, but something happened. Why didn't they report he was... Yeah, I think he got accidentally timed out or... Oh, hidden. He must have been hidden and put back in. Yeah, like I always say, I think at the end I'll probably have my own thoughts on my video where I'm just going to say, you see the white Elantra, and some people say it's irresponsible for me to say that that's Brian Kohberger's Elantra. And see, I don't think it's irresponsible at all, because Brian Kohberger himself said he was driving around to explain why his white Elantra is being seen all over the place. And also, his phone pinged shortly after the murders just south of 1122 King Road, like 6 miles down south of Moscow, Idaho. So that is his white Elantra, everybody. It's and when it drove by the A&W, it was missing a front license plate, exactly like his car had. As nose pinged in Moscow, Russia. Yeah, it's weird. So weirdest thing in the world. Kohberger's nose also pinged in Moscow, but it was actually Moscow, Russia. Okay, it is a long ways away. If he gets off knowing that monster is walking around society. Yeah, who's talking about defamation? What do you mean? Who are you talking to, Christy Kazi? Yeah, it's not. I'm saying that is Brian Kohberger's white Elantra. He says he's driving around at night because he knows that's his white Elantra. So once you're able to accept it as his white Elantra, then you see that his white Elantra, after it made its fourth loop at 408 and then took off at 420 at a high rate of speed, means necessarily that for 12 minutes his white Elantra was parked right next to 1122 King Road, and 4 college students were murdered in the exact same 12 minutes that his car stopped there. Can anybody explain that away rationally? Please, anybody out there at all, can anybody please try to explain that to me? I don't know if it's his first murder. I don't have a intuition on him. I kind of think it might be his first. Yeah, he thought, ooh, I'm going to start doing this and nobody will catch me, and he was going to maybe plan more. But he might have killed somebody in preparation to try to see what it felt like, what it takes to do it, Yeah, so anybody out there that thinks Kohberger is innocent, can you explain? What they'll say is, that's not Kohberger in that car there. Right, but Kohberger's phone and the white Elantra were driving south just like 20 minutes later. Is that just coincidence? Is that what you're saying? And then it drove all the way around the long way to get back to Pullman? And then his phone pinged again in Pullman? And it's seen on camera in the general same area? Yeah, okay. See, here's the cool part. The people that have watched this show, and we've gone over the probable cause 3 times, and then this newer sort of version that I've got, I don't know any of you that are still like, oh gosh, I don't know, man. It's almost impossible. You'd almost have to be brain dead to not see how absolutely damaging this is, right? Seriously, you'd have to be pretty much brain dead. What do you mean, anywho? What does that mean? I don't get it. It literally would have to be missing brain cells to be like, I don't know, man. I'm confused still. At what? This is a really kind of a simple stalking murder type case. And they've got him nailed. Yeah, I don't even know what you're referring to, though. Killing me softly. I look forward to... Well, if you're behind, how'd you hear what I said? Some folks are not getting the lack of DNA in the car and off. Yeah, but who cares? You know? How about this? Does everybody know this? That the person in the... You sped up that fast? Like, what do you put it on? 600 speed in like 2 seconds? Does anybody think that the white Elantra that was driving, doing those loops, had nothing to do with it? Hey, look at that. We got to 200. Thank you. Enjoying the stream. First time viewer. Hey, cool. Thank you. I don't believe you, 8675309. I just don't, man. I just don't. I don't know. What does it matter? It was like the 27th or so. Zozo. It's going to be in my video. Yeah. On the 27th, they were looking for, or around that time anyways, looking for a white Elantra. And 2 officers in Moscow, or Pullman, Washington, on the same night, within 30 minutes of each other, found the same white Elantra. Because they looked it up on their database. I want to know how many other white Elantras on the campus they found. Okay. And then they found his white Elantra. And then... So that was already reported, and I don't know if they were already kind of looking at him at that point or whatever, but they did rapid forensic genealogy, and here it is. It leads back to a teacher's assistant who is learning, he's in a criminology courses, criminal justice, whatever, in a doctorate program. He has a white Elantra. And then when they finally look into it, it's moving around the campus all these different times, 12 times prior to the murders. Then the vehicle's phone is pinging just south of Moscow, and it's turned off. Like, it's moving around in Pullman. And then I think it was at 2:47, his phone was turned off, and it remained off until 4:25 when it's just south of Moscow. And that encompasses the exact time of the murders. Again. Yeah, there's no way in hell. Yeah. They do have better footage. I've already showed you the footage at 1112 King Road. That's one of the clearest videos we've ever seen. That's just a still frame. The video is crystal clear, I bet. Because that is an insane... Just the one still image we've got is crystal clear. Where is that thing? Not sure I even know where it is. Koberger full timeline. Oh, that's where I needed to save that. Let me put it in there. Oh man, I'm not sure where I put that the other night. That's one of the things that always... Organization's hard sometimes when you're trying to do shows. Let's say best video images. Is it in here? Yeah, I mean it's so clear. I just don't know where I put it now, for some reason. No, not there. It's not in there either. Yeah, that's crazy. It's weird how you just can't find it some nights. Yeah, so the image at 1112 King Road is absolutely clear as day. I guarantee it in that image that you can see just crystal clear when it's turning around, driving by. It's incredible footage. I'm just looking for it right now. Oh, there it is. Look at this thing. Look how absolutely clear that is right there. You don't think that this one is just nails that shit? I mean, you can make out, you could probably tell what kind of truck that is. All of every one of these things. So here's what's going to happen in the video that I've explained before. Is you're going to see the white launcher come in like this. It's going to drive by here at 3:31, and then you'll see it coming out of here at like 3:32. Then you're going to see it coming back at 3:38. Then it's going to come out of here at like 3:40 and go like this again. Then you can see it come back in at about 3:55. And then you can see it coming out about like 3:57 or so, 3:58. Then you can see it come back in at 4:05-ish, right around in this area. It's going to turn. And then you can see it about 4:06 coming back this way. You know, like right around like 4:07-ish. It's doing a 3-point turn. Look how clear that car is going to be here. It's going to do a 3-point turn. So it's going to drive, boom, back up, come like this. And that's going to go back here, and then we won't see it again until 4:20, when we see it come zipping out like this, and then around this corner, and I don't know if you can see lights up here, but it's going to drive up Willanter Drive, which is right up at the top of the screen there. Okay, and this camera married with the other video at 1330, whatever the hell the name of that, Linda Lane, that is going to be absolutely incredible, you guys. And you're going to see it when it turns around right here. It won't have a front license plate on it. How much you want to bet? That makes sense, everybody? And I'm just going to tell you right now that you will see, this is actually from that night. Look at November 13th at almost 2 o'clock, 2022. This is what it looked like. It looked just like this. And I guarantee it, when this video comes out, and if you just listen to what I just said, it's going to look exactly like that. You're going to have 4, let's see. You'll see the vehicle 5 times on here. You're going to see it again coming in around 3:30. Well, more than 5, like 10. So at 3:30 it comes in. And then you'll see it leave at like 3:34 or something, 3:33. Then you'll see it again at 3:37 or so, and leaving at 3:39. That's 4. Then you'll see it again at 3:55, and you'll see it leaving at 3:58 or so. That's 6. Then you'll see it coming back in at 4:04. That's 7. And then it goes back, and then it turns around and comes back this way. And then you go 8 right there, right? Because then it does a 3-point turn, and then it'll go back this way. This will be, it's still 8. And then it drives back, and then it completes the regular one, but then it, the loop, but then it stops behind 1122 King Road, and then it comes bolting out of here at 4:20, and that's number 9. See? Boom. You'll see it 9 times on there, and it'll be exactly what I was just telling you, and then you'll be able to link it up. I mean, I wish I had this video right now. So if anybody's out there, if you're listening and you happen to have the actual video that we're looking at right here, maybe send it to me. And you have the full, I would say from 3:30 to 4:25. I don't even 4:25. 4:22. Give me the whole thing. And they probably don't want to release it because on the audio portion is when you hear whimpering and thuds and things like that, and a dog barking. Yeah, I've gone over this 100 times, Zozo. Come on, are you kidding me? Jesus. Look at this. Here, let's go back up to the thing. I know you don't have time to watch every second of the show, but it's just like some of the stuff is, we've gone over it. Let's do it. Have to turn on all of it. So there's the entire Washington, all the pins we've put in since the beginning. Here is the house. Let me get a different map. That one's way better. So there's the house right here. See? That's where you would have parked his car, went in the house. This house right here is, well, what's going on with this image here? They haven't torn that down. That's weird. Man, you could almost not see it. It's just backwards. Yeah, so right here, that's a better one. This is the best one here. The camera's right on this house right here. Okay? I hope you're paying attention again, just so you don't have to worry about it again. The image we just saw is like this. See? Now see how the road's right there in the street? Watch. There it is. There's the street. Just like that. There's that house is right there, right? And if you go up to the street view, you can probably click in right there. And there's that house that was in the background. In the surveillance shot. Yeah, she won't pay attention again and say the same thing the next time. So here's the 1122 King Road. The camera's right there, and this is 60 feet away, not 50 like they said. As we've seen before already, that there is a camera back here that films all 5 of the times the car was driving around. It did 4 loops, but one of the loops it broke up and it turned around and went this way, did a 3-point turn, and then finished it. And then see this red circle right here? This red circle right here is exactly where the... Oh, because you're in Australia, Zozo. Is that what it is? Yeah. So right here, Brian Kohberger's white Elantra was right here from 408. Well, here's what I can say. I can't say 100% that it was right there. Let me move some of these, okay? So here's this little circle. This is where I can say his vehicle was for 12 minutes. Maybe it can't be that because it was right off camera. So right there, and maybe possibly here. So that little, and oops, let me add this. I don't want to leave something out. Somebody will say, well, what about the end of the driveway, Gray? Gee. Okay, right there. How's that? This will make everybody happy. And as a matter of fact, it can't be inside of the building here, right? So we could actually just cut it off right there. So when the white Elantra drove around, that means for 12 minutes, the vehicle is inside of this red area here. And inside of those 12 minutes, guess what happened, everybody? 4 college students were murdered inside of this house. And then guess what? Right after the murders, that same vehicle that was there for 12 minutes drove away at a high rate of speed. And then guess what? Not too long after that, his vehicle, they know that his vehicle exited here at, I'm saying 425 because I used Google Maps and figured out that it would have came out here at 425. And then it came here and took a right on 95 because guess what? He turned his phone on in this area and it pinged near Blaine, Idaho right here. See? It pinged right there. So that means his phone, in generally, there's about 15 minutes of missing time, but his phone pinged generally exactly around the time that a vehicle leaving Moscow would do, taking this crazy route right here. And then his phone pings all the way around like this. So Kohberger's phone magically, how does this happen, you guys? So how does Kohberger's phone ping here, but it didn't ping anywhere else? How did it get here? It just, a UFO, an alien spacecraft, beamed his car into that position and turned his phone on at that time? Is that what happened? So how did his phone get here? Well, Gray, it's just one of those random pings, you fool. You dummy. Remember how they said they had the one ping when there was... Well, how about this then, fool? Why did his phone ping there and then it pinged here and around and around and around? And it just kept pinging around in a circle down here. Well, Gray, it was called transference. It's some kind of a weird thing. Okay, listen. His car was driving with his phone on, okay? And then his car kept driving, and it made itself its way all the way back up to Pullman, Washington here. And then his phone pings in Pullman. Not only that, the white Elantra is seen right here at 1300 Johnson Avenue, and this very camera also saw it take a left onto this road and also go all the way up here and go up there. You can actually see it from down at where the camera was. So there's the white Elantra, and then the phone pings in there too. That same phone is pinging. His phone is pinging. It's moving around, matching the time that the Elantra is moving around. How come? I don't know, man. I don't need the sheath, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't need the sheath. I don't give a shit about the DNA on the sheath. It is a big deal, but without that, he did this. Okay? What do you mean, Gray? How do you know it was... Okay, well, which one... Okay, tell me this. Which one of the Elantras was his that night? He's admitting it. Yep, he sure is. The mysterious dozen white Elantras driving around at 4 in the morning. How about this? You know what they should do? Check every single available surveillance camera and count how many white Elantras are driving around at 3:30 to 4:30 in the morning on that day. And I bet you the number is really small. As a matter of fact, I would bet you the number is 1. Okay? In this area. I don't know, Gray. They're really popular. They're all over the place, Gray. Gee. How many of you hate when I do that voice? I love doing the voice. Because that's exactly what I picture these sniveling, whiny people sounding like. Okay, thank you. And I can almost imitate exactly what they'd say. I feel really skilled at that. Mountain Jam 71 loves it.
I like to do it too, Gray. Gee.
Well, I know, but you're sort of... Yeah, well, I just... You know, every time I explain it, I think I even do it better. You know, I think of something else, you know. Now, just look at that. Man. That little tiny spot out of that whole area. Look when you look at the map from up here, right? Then I zoom in. This crazy white Elantra is in this area for 12 minutes. Right when the 4 people were murdered. And then it disappears at 4:20, heading out at a high rate of speed. So who was driving the white Elantra, missing a front license plate? Because remember, as it drove by the A&W here, it was missing its front license plate. So that same white Elantra can absolutely nailed by the time, exactly consistent with even Google Maps, it pulls into this neighborhood. Well, Gray, how do you know it was the same one? Maybe another Elantra came down this way and he took a right. Oh, God. Man. Yeah, well, maybe aliens were involved, too. We're just not sure at this point. We'll check in with that tomorrow, though. And don't you think law enforcement believes for certain that it's Brian Koberger? I mean, that's why he's been arrested. And they just know it is. Right? Right. I mean, yeah. See, here's the thing. Is like, Lisa says, it's as obvious as OJ. Yeah, because OJ did kill those people, in my opinion. He just got a jury that was sort of sympathetic at the time of just sort of social things. And just, boom, he's innocent. There's no way in hell OJ didn't do it. Okay? The glove fit perfectly. He just wore an extra glove underneath the glove. Okay. Put where the IP is, like, well, I'm in the caves. Didn't take the arthritis meds. Yeah, I think it's more like he wore a full-on surgical gloves on a dry... You know what they should have said to the judge? We now forgo ever DNA testing that glove ever again. He doesn't have to wear a protective glove. We don't want him to wear a protective glove to put on that glove. Yeah, and the glove... Well, it says if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. But here's the glove doesn't. He made it not fit. Like he's holding out his fingers. Look at it. Well, that's right. You painted Mark Furman as a racist. Therefore, the glove doesn't fit, everybody. And I'm not saying he isn't a racist either. But what does that have to do with anything? I mean, my God, you guys let out a absolute monster back into society. In my opinion, of course. Let's see. OJ's case still makes... Yeah, it should anger you. You know, one of the worst things I've ever seen was... remember Reginald Denny, the truck driver? That was a different case, though. That was the guy that said, can't we all just get along? What the hell was his name? Yeah, remember they pulled him out of a truck and just threw bricks at his head? And then Saturday Night Live made fun of him? I mean, you guys are an embarrassment. Yeah, Rodney King, right. No need to type in Rodney King after this, because 2 people have already typed it in. Hey, Rodney King, 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 Rodney King. I know, I said that, Christy Kazi. I said Reginald Denny, the truck driver. You heard that, right? Yep. Oh, he said King Rodney. And that was disabled for life. Yeah. I mean, they just threw a brick right at his head. Whoever did that to him should have got life in prison. Instead, it was probably, we can't tell. We don't want to cause problems. Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? And he was a football hero. Yeah. Yeah, if you ever go watch that video, it's just terrible. They pull him out of the car and then take a brick from, just huck it right at his head. It just, Jesus. God, I mean, just picturing it just makes me angry. What did he have to do with anything? You know what that was? That was pure racism at that point. He had his face crushed with a brick because of the color of his skin. Doesn't that suck? Yeah. Yeah, I remember it was like just a big chunk of rock. Yeah, it's terrible. Let's see. I can still see it. Yeah, it's crazy. Like he was sitting out. I don't know how they got him out. Somebody just jumped up and they sort of put him on the ground, and then somebody came in and I think it was a black man came in and protected him. That was really cool. It must have been tough to do that. It took a lot of guts. Yeah, I just said that, Christy Kazi. Let's see. I can still see it in my head. The video. I remember it as a cinder block. And he was a football hero. Right. All right, you guys. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to get the hell out of here. But, yeah, everybody. When you see somebody put out complete garbage, make sure to tell them. You know? Hey, Blue. I'm going to go give him some of his medication here. So. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So I'm going to keep working on that video. I don't know how far I'll get tomorrow. Hopefully I get deeper into it. But I think I have a lot of stuff that I can put in to fill in the driving stuff because I've done videos on it. I mean, it's going to be really cool. I'll be able to put the videos in there. I think it'll be a really neat little comprehensive timeline video where you just watch it and just, you know, it's like, okay, there we go. So, thanks everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all for supporting the channel, those that did so. If you didn't, hit the like button too, which is also supporting the channel. Yeah. But thank you all very much. We'll see you tomorrow. And man, only 298 likes. What a joke. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, be safe out there. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Collaborate and listen.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector.
Collaborate and listen.
I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get you
as a hold of me
on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector with all respect. Just remember I've a temple fucking checker.
I have no agenda. I'm a pretender.
And I'll
serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right, everybody. See you tomorrow.
And be safe out there.
Good night, everybody. Jay.
Hey, we switched it up tonight, Greg. That was cool.
Yeah, I just figured since you took my spot, I would just do yours.
Well, I still want to do mine. Good night, everybody. Jay.
Oh, my God. What a diva.
That's right, Greg. Good night, everybody.
She's a hoot, isn't she? All right. See you guys later.